And I'm on air. Hey, folks, Bob Dolbot here, doing a bit of a live stream, kind of just getting things set up.
And I'm on air. Hey, folks,
Ooh,
Bob
wow.
Dolbot here, doing a bit of a live stream,
Oh,
kind of just getting things set up.
why the?
Wow.
Come on, stop it. Come on.
Stop it.
Oh, that's why. I was like, why am I still hearing myself? Apparently, it was opening two web browsers. That's always fun. And embarrassing. All right, we are waiting on Mr. Marvel to join us when he can, and hopefully we'll be able to get things going here in a minute. All right. Sorry, it's been trying to get everything set up, trying to get Canales, my man. I know I ain't got too many people here, but Canales, then like two others. But either way, what's up, Canales? Always glad to see you, man. That'll help. Trying to first time doing this on my own. Like I'm in charge of mod, everything. I got this. I know I do. Oh, no worries about it, bro. Just you being here is enough. All right. Too many Twitters. All right. Mr. Marvel said he's got a couple things to do, and then he'll be jumping on. Always glad to have, Troy on. Canales, you're a workaholic. I understand. It's what you do, man. It's what you do. That's why everybody loves you. But yeah, the plan is we're going to talk some comic books, have some fun. It's going to be great. Been kind of trying to get some editing done. Figured I'd do a live stream, take a break from that. I know I caught. You are adorable and lovable and cool with everyone. But I know I caught this bit talking about Michelle Perez and how basically it's her, him, whatever, trying to sit there and say that everyone who does in comic skate and move the needle is pretty much a bunch of alt-right Nazis and this, that, and the other. Just a bunch of stupidity. Pure stupidity. Man, I need someone to play off of. Can't wait until Troy gets in here. He brings so much. But yeah, Benjamin Hend was going to be here, but he ended up having a dinner. Completely understand prior engagements, things like that. It was kind of a last minute deal. Oh, yeah, Canales, it's true. I actually watched that video where, like, 10 minutes ago, where Zach was talking about how all that tweet and all the things that Michelle Perez did, and I'm just sitting here like face palm. It's like, Canales, you would never insult your fans. that's one thing you would never do. Like, you have tact, you have decorum. And it's like sad, really, that the little guys have more tact and decorum than those attached to the big two. All three, if you count Image, but either way, it was just sad to watch. That's because you know better than to feed the trolls. Way better than to feed the trolls. Like, okay, one sec. Got a lot going on. Oh, Doug has a gift for you. Sup, Avid? How are you doing, bro? Oh, in my spare moment. You're still a mod? Well, if you want to handle the duties, you know you are more than welcome to. I tried setting up another mod, but unfortunately my friend wasn't able to do it. It was one of those kind of taking care of things at the house. Oh, word. Thank you, Doug, because I know you're watching. But, yeah, like I said, the general stuff going on in comics. Let's see. The Ferryman got funded. Go Sean and his team. We're getting close to the amount needed for Jack Irons to get issue 2 colored. I'm checking the prices on, or the progress on that. Oh, less than 400 to go at 5,134. Back to my, there we go. But yes, it's always good to have Avid in. But what do you mean failed on it? I hope that I know I'm being watched. It's live now. Why are you saying that? Yeah, it's, I'll admit, kind of not very entertaining by myself. Unless I have something to talk about, which, you know, other than politics and comic books. But I guess that's why everyone's here. But yeah, Michelle Perez, as I was saying, just being Michelle Perez, Tim Doyle being stupid and trying to throw shade. The Bounding in a Comics article about him was hilarious. Trying to paint everyone who's in Comic Gate. Oh, sweet! Will do, Canales. You are a lifesaver. Now I'm not going to be sitting here droning on like an idiot. Oh, and you sent me the link to your Patreon. Sweet. I will have that to... Ooh, glad I didn't close that out. Oh, I just did a stupid. Oh, well. Word. So how's your AC getting fixed going anyway? Because I remember you saying you had that going on today. Oh,
Hey, what? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, what's up? I just hated seeing you all alone by yourself, and I said, I told to myself, I'll just join for a couple of minutes.
Hey, I appreciate it. At least gives me someone to talk to, so I'm not just in here like, this is so hard to. Go ahead.
I was in the chat anyway, so what the hell? I might as well just say the things out loud.
Right. But so how are you doing today anyway, bro?
No, not bad. I was expecting to have 2 pages finished by tonight, so yeah, I took a break. I need to ink my weekly page of Decimators, and then hopefully I'll be able to go to bed.
Hey.
So 2 full pages in 2 days. No rest for the wicked.
there you go. At least you're doing something. You're doing
Yeah,
better.
oh man. And how? I never stopped doing something.
All right, the way I look at it, you not only have your comic, The Decimators, you're working on Iron Sights and whatnot. It's, believe me. And there you go, Avid. A link to Canales' Patreon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, you two will be the first contributors to my Patreon, actually, so I appreciate.
Oh, I am broke. Like, my Patreon only has $1, and it's from Avid.
Yeah, I don't actually use it. I just have one because you gotta have one.
It's not just you
But
want to
I
have.
don't really pay much attention.
Oh yeah, well, it's not just you want to have a Patreon, for everything you're doing, but it's also you want to get it set up or at least snag the name before someone tries to make money off of your efforts.
Yeah, I can't complain. I'm actually getting a lot of offers via DMs, and I'm actually having to refuse work offers now, which is crazy because last year I was desperate for work, and look at me now.
Right? Well, it's partly because, like I was saying, dude, you're cool with everybody. You don't have any malice towards anyone. You just kind of try to treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And I wish more
Yeah,
people
man.
did that.
Yeah, I used to think of my fellow geeks as my family when I was younger. So I'd like to go back to that. We all like each other. We all like the same things. So I don't know. I only began to be suspicious of my fellow geeks after Comicsgate, because you never know who can be an SGW in disguise. But otherwise, I don't know. I love you all. I'm soft like that.
Hey, and like to me, I'll admit, like I said before, my channel was supposed to be mainly me talking politics and whatnot. And Comicsgate started, like, I noticed it, and I was like, you know what? No, they've taken everything. They've taken video games. They've taken Star Trek. They've taken
Yeah.
the one thing that was all about. We have moved past identity politics and made it about identity politics. And then, like the whole instance with Black Panther, where a bunch of people who don't even read comic books are like, Black Panther's the superhero for the black people, and it's like,
And the movie actually sucked. I rewatched Civil War the other day. It was on TV, and Black Panther in Civil War is actually pretty fucking badass. And in his own movie, it's like Spider-Man: Homecoming. He's a doofus in his own movie. He doesn't do anything. He has the chicks do everything for him.
Well, it's not just that, dude. It was the fact that, like, and I completely agree with you about Homecoming. Oh my god. Like I've said before, if I wanted to watch 2 hours of cringe, I'd videotape myself. Sup, Rebirth. But if I wanted to watch 2 hours of cringe, I'd videotape myself and rewatch it. All right. I just, and the thing is Michael Keaton did a fantastic job as Vulture.
Yeah, he was the best part of the movie, just like Black Panther. I keep saying that if you had made the Black Panther movie from the point of view of Killmonger, it would have been actually a pretty good movie. I would have liked it.
Oh yeah.
Because imagine that story: a kid who grows up in the ghetto with no father, and he keeps fantasizing about his father being a warrior from this fabled country, and the other kids keep picking on him, and suddenly he discovers that it's true, that Wakanda is real. So he goes through a hero's journey. He travels to Wakanda. He enlists the aid of this quirky arms dealer guy who's Chloe in the movie, and the king is actually the villain. The new king, the new Black Panther, is actually the an usurper. You make that story, and you actually got a pretty good movie.
Well, like, granted, the way I would have done, like, I like your idea to basically the way I'm interpreting it is follow the villain through the movie and have it be to where the villain is more or less the hero of the movie and the actual hero is the villain of the movie. And that would have been an interesting way to do Black Panther. That might have been really cool, actually. But, like, all the unneeded identity politics.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing that bothered me the most, right, Rebirth? But the thing that bothered me the most was the fact that, like they referred to the white people as colonizers, and it's like one.
Yeah, you know what I hate the most? That when I used to watch Black Panther in any other context, in any other comic, I would never think of him as a black guy. He was just Black Panther from
Mhm.
Wakanda, and he had his problems. Like, and now I see Black Panther, and I can't stop thinking they're black and I'm white, and we're completely different, and we don't have anything in common.
It's
Even
not.
whether if I want it or not, it's like it's they have purposefully segregated us, and I hate that.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, the whole point of Black Panther, like, let's be honest, the definitive run is Christopher Priest. If you like want to see what Black Panther is all about, you read his run, and he did a fantastic job of trying to ride that fine line between, I guess you could say, having the very much a strong black male character, but at the same time not go overboard with the identity politics. Like, he knew what he was doing, just pure and simple. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to write a good comic with subtext and an interesting character, good art. And it's funny because I was editing the interview I did with Dollar Bin, and we got talking about the Comics Code Authority, and I kind of think that a lot of these issues that we were having with comics now wouldn't be an issue, like all the identity politics and needless
Yeah,
in your
absolutely,
in your
absolutely.
face, politics wouldn't be an issue if we still had the Comics Code Authority, because the Comics Code would have forced people to stay in line. It would have forced people to write stories like how
Sad as it seems, I agree because even though I don't support censorship at all, I'm a complete oppositor to censorship. I dare say that in my country, in Spain, the best movies were made during the censorship era because the filmmakers had to be smart. They had to think about the subtext, as you very well put it. They have to be sly and cunning, kind of like what happens with practical effects and CGI. When you couldn't do certain things on camera because you didn't have the technology, you have to be smart, and that mindset gave us masterpieces like Alien. Now they can do anything, and the only thing we get is crap. So I think that's kind of what's happening in comics now. Everything goes. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be good. You just have to have the right politics, and those assholes who keep saying that the Last Jedi is good, you know, do so because of its politics. But it's a crap movie, regardless of its politics. The politics is the last thing that bothers me about the movie. It's objectively about the movie. But since they don't have any code that they have to adhere to, that's what happens.
Oh yeah, dude. It's almost like when everything became politicized and all up in your face with politics, everyone forgot the simple things of civility, allowing others to have their own opinion. Like 10 years ago, you and I could have a different opinion, and we would just sit there and we'd talk about it like mature, rational adults. And that's what always made it so fun to talk politics for me and talk religion and this, that, and the other, because of the fact that people would have that ability to reach out to you and say, yes, I disagree, but I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to you about it. Now it's, if you disagree with me, I'm going to block you, or I'm going to make your life live in hell, do everything I can to reinforce my echo chamber, because you don't accept my confirmation bias and you come
Yeah.
with the raw data. And it's like, that's because I understand that it's confirmation bias you're bringing.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's become completely sociopathic. It's become 1930s Germany, in which you had to be in the party to be able to write a book or shoot a movie or whatever. Either you are in the club or you're unemployed, and I think that's crazy. I don't know how we got to this point, but it's insane.
I can tell you how we got to this point. People forgot that other opinions help you be able to reinforce your own opinions, because you're able to sit there and stand your ground and debate them on the merit of your ideals. And at the same time, ideology just took over everything. And I don't know if you were there for when in the last meeting of the minds where I mentioned how my belief on ideology is that it is the monolithic figure that blocks one's view of the big picture. And it's just that when you have this big problem with ideology constantly reinforcing the things that ideology wants you to believe, and you're not getting that outside influence to say, hey, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying you're right either, you know, that without that ability, because all you're seeing is and hearing is what the pillar of ideology tells you, you're unable to be able to actually grow as a person.
Yeah, ideology is like wearing these things that they put on horses, you know, so they will only look straightforward. It's like I don't know, you purposefully mutilate your reasoning ability. You mind kill yourself. I guess that's why they call it that. But yeah, it's I think it was Jordan Peterson who said that his I'm going to get poetical now, so I hope you guys don't mind. But he said that he used the Paradise Lost story from Milton, and he said that it was a metaphor. God being the human mind, and Lucifer, his brightest angel, being the reasoning capability, and how the fall of Lucifer symbolizes that the reasoning capability turns against yourself. You know, your own reasoning ability makes you insane, so to speak, and that blew my mind. That's exactly what's going on here.
Oh yeah, well, I hate to say it, but the whole thing reminds me of 1984
Oh
in so
yeah,
many ways. Like George Orwell, he was smart and he could just see what was happening. Like he knew even then what was going to happen. Like because he mentioned in that how the revolution, no one would look up from and see it because they were too busy glued to whatever electronic device that
yeah,
wouldn't basically be used. And he was so correct on that, and it's kind of sad.
yeah. George Orwell was the only true prophet here. He was a real visionary, and I think it was due to the fact that he actually did travel to the Soviet Union at some point, because he was pretty leftist, I think, and he was horrified by what he saw there. He saw that it was commonplace for the Soviet authority to brainwash its people through the media, and basically arrest them for wrong thing, which is what's happening here. So what we're seeing now, it's nothing short of Stalinist.
Oh yeah, well, if I remember right, Spain is one of the few countries that's actually breaking free of that mentality slowly but surely.
I wouldn't say so. SDWs have a pretty strong hold here. We've had the San Fermines, the bull racing thing that we do every summer. It's been completely taken over by feminists after a purported gang rape last year, a couple of years ago, I think. And they're policing the streets in black hoodies with signs and stuff. So it's true that more and more people are waking up to the fact, but they are still pretty strong here.
Hey,
Troy,
Hey.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. How do I sound right now? Are you hearing me good?
We're hearing you loud and clear, brother.
All right, Canales, ¿cómo está, mi señor?
¿Cómo estamos, mano?
Aquí, loco, con calor. But, moving forward.
Can
Yeah,
can
thank
us
you.
only English speakers get subtitles over here? I mean, come on.
We're just exchanging informative proteins like in The Simpsons. Don't worry, nothing serious.
Yeah, nothing serious. You gotta understand when Hispanic men meet, the greeting can last for several minutes at a time, as they just keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
Cultural thing.
That's true. And I don't know about Americans, but do you guys also like hug a lot and pat each other in the back when you meet?
Oh yeah.
We do that a lot.
Oh yeah. Constant tapping, smacking, pushing, moving, hugging, bringing clothes, grabbing at shirts. We're very gesticular culture.
Yeah, we do that a lot. Whenever I meet with my American friends, I'm always like, whoa, hold your horses, canales. They don't do that here. They don't, they don't slobber each other's faces like I used to do.
Yeah, no. The way I greet my my American friends, if I'm going to go ahead and use that, you know what? No, the way I greet my white and black friends, good old handshake, or I'll dap them up, but any of my Hispanic friends, it's going to be a big ordeal when we see each other for the first time in a while.
I can confirm.
How you guys doing? What's going on?
Not much. Just sitting here bullshitting, talking. Pretty much, I feel like we started out in comic books, which led to talking about politics and comic books, and now we're just talking about like politics and history and whatnot.
Okay, I dig it. I definitely dig it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys take the lead.
No, just to stay around for a couple of minutes because I have a full page still to ink. So I was just helping Nerd here because he didn't have any celebrities on his stream. So I said, "What the hell?"
Right.
Yeah,
I got you. I got it.
Which, by the way, I finally tracked down your channel, Troy, and subscribed. I was like, "How am I not subscribed to this already?"
Because I am very bad at promoting. Don't let the last couple days of me hustling Wampool give you the impression that I'm good at promoting. It's only been to the last couple days that I've actually gained that sense of I got to keep reminding people that I exist. As I mentioned it the other night on a stream. I mean, by profession, I'm a tattoo artist. I'm on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but I do tattoos. And the thing with tattoos, it's like, you tell people I'm over here tattooing, and that's about it. They're just going to keep finding you. They're going to keep finding you. And they're going to hit you up and say, where are you now?
Hold up real quick. Sup, Cody?
Hey, we have lots of people in the chat tonight.
Oh. Yeah, you're going to have to tell me who's on the chat, because I can't see the chat right now because I'm on my phone.
Got Avid in, got Cody in, one of my followers on Twitter's in, Shadows.
Nice.
So
Well, I tweeted out I was going to be on with you, so hopefully people saw and want to come check us out.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. That helps out a lot.
Hey, man, we all got to use our platforms to talk to the people that others might not be followed by. You know what I mean? And that's why our community is strong, and that's why it's building up good. Because we all bring our unique talents and followers to the table. And I feel we're starting to pool them together. And we're starting to all, pool our followers into one space, and that's really good.
I think we are everything that SJWs would like to be. We're that fantasy they have about their own community, which is only bound together by fear.
Yeah, no, you're right. Good call. We're not afraid of each other. We're not. We're respectful. You know what I mean? We're respectful. We're very amicable, and we're constantly in touch with each other. I have a feeling that SJWs don't talk unless they have to, unless there's like an outrage to unite behind.
Yeah, there's just like a tactical friendship. They only band together when they have to embarrass someone or harass someone. Otherwise, they won't talk to each other because they're not really, they're sociopaths, like people.
Oh,
you called it.
Well, and it's like I said in my Wizard of Comics videos, I was like, I don't even think they like each other because of the fact that if they step outside of the opinion corridor, they're immediately ostracized. And it's like, how are you supposed to be about social justice, but then you ostracize people who are in your same camp? Like,
intersectionality.
Yeah.
That's the answer. They don't all check the same boxes, and that can become an issue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. To me, our biggest strength is the fact that we can disagree. That is our strength.
Mm-hmm.
because we understand, if we all agree, all we're doing is reinforcing our own ideals and ideas and everything, and we're not getting any of that much needed, I guess you could say, outside input.
Exactly. That, and whenever there's a division amongst our ranks, we form into 3 groups. 2 of them take the opposite sides, and then the third comes in and calms everybody down. And that's how we always, you know what I mean? Well, it really depends on what's going down. I've been.
That's usually Edwin too. He's like he's like the Gandalf of
exactly
Fellowship.
Yeah. Oh man. Edwin the Grey. I love it.
Oh, dude, like he went and posted on Sean's Twitter, congratulations for the ferryman getting, funded and everything. And I was like, I saw that video, and that's why we all love Edwin, is because he's just such a nice guy, and it's genuine niceness.
I'm not gonna lie, he's been giving me pep talks since I joined Twitter. He's kept my spirits high many times, and I've actually turned to him with some personal problems, and he gave me great advice. And he just has a way of getting you to realize what it is that's in front of you and how you want to be dealing with it, and that's a great gift.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. The guy is like our Yoda, He's like this really calm, wise guy who's at the center of everything, always giving good advice. I really like him for that.
Oh, yeah. Like, I look forward to the day where I have finally, I guess you could say, gotten on Edwin's radar to that point where I can talk to him on that level. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey man, how you doing? Things like that. I look forward to that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I look forward to it.
Yeah. He's a great individual, and we're stronger because of him.
Yes, we are.
You also got guys like Tim. Tim is very great at coming in and using things. He's got that way of speaking to get everybody kind of calm. And yeah, we have great moderators on our side. I want to say I'm a moderator, but I'm not. I'm an agitator. Sorry, guys. It happened.
Just sneak into the conversations and say something snarky, and then I just leave.
Yeah. I'm getting very good at not giving my opinion because I don't know. I just kind of want to end up being that creator that isn't out there peddling for any one side. I just want to get my book out there. I want to help everybody else get their book out there. Like you said earlier, congrats to Sean Campbell, man. He hit that goal. That's so great. In these days, I'm just kind of staying out of stuff. Even when I'm tagged in, the most I'll do is just post a picture of Badger Bitch being triggered. Greatest thing I ever drew. I never knew how many times I would use that one panel to make people laugh, and I'm glad.
Oh, dude, no, the One Pull Rags cover parody. I saw that earlier. Part of me was like, my eyes, but oh god, it's funny.
So, guys, yeah. I gotta get going because I gotta ink this son of a bitch. But I'll be glad to join you guys some other day.
Hey. We'll probably be doing this again Saturday, unless another stream comes up. I decide to do another stream between now and then, and I'll send you an invite, Canales.
Thank you. I'll probably be out for the weekend. Not sure, but if I can join, I'll just lurk in the comments and give you guys my support. So yeah, keep it up.
Will do, bro. Later.
Hasta luego, mano.
Sí, ya sabe, loco. Lo vemos.
Hey.
Oh, wow. And then Cody hops in right as he leaves. That is good timing.
That is epic. That was scary.
Is it?
That was scary. That was scary. Like, oh my goodness.
The timing is excellent. It always has been.
Yes, it is, Jack. Yes, it is, my toadster.
No worries. What were you guys talking about?
A lot of everything.
Let's be honest. We were all sharing our love for Edwin.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. Love Fest for Edwin. I'm always in on that.
Like, And on top of that, giving credit to Sean for getting the ferryman funded.
Oh, I'm so amazed at that. I'm glad when he popped up. He's been an excellent friend on here, and he's just a great creator, and the project is amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so weird. Like, it's funny, though. I got mentioning to my mom earlier, it's like, do you know how weird it is to be on a first-name basis with, like, guys who have actual comics out there and things like that?
We ain't that important, brother, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll tell you what. I know exactly the feeling you're talking about, though. Because recently, I'm starting to get DMs from some of the higher creators, and it's one of those like, oh my god, you're talking to me? Do you know who I am? Because you shouldn't be talking to me. So I kind of get that feeling, and the more I work, the more I'm putting stuff out, the more people I'm meeting, and next thing you know, it's not that big of a deal. Like once you get the icebreaker out of the way, and like Cody just said, dude, we ain't nobody. That's what I always hear. No matter the tier of the creator, I always get the I ain't nobody.
Yeah, but when you're just a dude that has a little YouTube channel that's just now starting to, I guess you could say, get some traction behind it, and you get guys who, like, both of you have comics out, that's a big deal to me, because I don't even have that out.
Well, what you got towards it?
Man, I got a few pages of my, like, first issue written. I need to get back on that. Just been trying to get the interview I did Friday finished editing. Thank God Brett Smith had to reschedule. Oh my God, thank God. Like, that would have been really frustrating trying to get the interview with Dollar Bin done and then having to get Brett's interview done. I'm just, it's one of those, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to interviews. Like, if Cody was to listen to the raw of the interview I did with him.
I was a wreck. So don't worry about that. I was terrible at answering your questions on that.
Well, but I was able to make it sound like, one, you could tell you were having internet problems, but you wouldn't realize it was as bad as it actually was.
Oh no, you did great. I was just talking about my end.
Like,
Nope.
One of these days, who knows, maybe I'll do an interview with Troy and whatnot. But
I would love to.
Word.
I would love to spread the gospel of Juanpool, according to Troy.
Yes. Because Juanpool is awesome.
And you owe it to the world, Troy.
Hey, I try. I don't know, man. Juanpool's an awesome character to be the creator of. It just kind of hit me a little earlier today. I went over to an old friend's house. He actually just moved out to this part of the state, and we just hooked up for the first time in like maybe 8 years. And it was like, he's like, what have you been up to? And, I let him know my own personal situation. He's like, he did his state chipper, man. And I was like, yeah, but I also just put out a comic book. And his reaction was like, no shit, finally? And I was like, wow, yeah, that's my friend, man. That you're good friends with someone when they're like, wow, you finally got off your ass and made a comic. Good for you. And I felt so proud to show off Juanpool. Not just any comic, but it's like, dude, I have Juanpool. Like, I don't know. It's like,
I love it.
The way people love him so much, it makes you happy to be the one that brought him, if that makes sense.
Because, had to give you a little plug in the chat real quick.
Oh, awesome.
Over to Juanpool.
Cody.
Yeah.
I want to know.
What do you want to know?
Would there ever be a Juan Irons eventually?
There most certainly can be. I am no artist. I could write it, but yeah. I mean, the whole community and everything. We're really networking these characters, and I think it's turning into something amazing. And I would love to see a Juan Irons.
All right. I mean, I think I know the guy that could do that, so I might ask him.
Yeah,
Sup,
you
sport?
know some people.
Hold up real quick. Hey, Spork, you wanting to chat with us? Because I will send you a link right now.
Yeah, because we don't have enough minds to form the tour on Raw yet.
No, we do not.
Oh, Sauron showed up. He's been a killer supporter of mine for a long time. You gotta hail that Dark Lord.
Hail the Dark Lord.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Sweet. Links in your DM, Spork. So we will be having Spork coming in here in a couple minutes.
That is awesome.
Yes,
All right.
it is. See,
That is awesome.
I'm glad I was kind of worried that I wouldn't have people joining me. So I was like, man, I'm not sure if I want to do this. Like, I don't know when Troy's gonna be able to join.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to charge my phone a little bit. It's not fully charged or even that much charged, but it's charged enough that I can have some fun for a bit with you guys. But I totally needed to let it charge a little bit.
Oh, I understand, dude.
Yeah, I got like 20 more minutes on here, but I thought might as well show up and lend my support to Juan Pool and to you, brother.
Oh, I
Hey,
appreciate it, Cody. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
this is
That's
good.
hey, that's the whole thing, man. You know, I appreciate having you guys on here just because y'all always bring like good positive vibes and whatnot.
I
That's the
mean,
goal.
how could you be miserable? We make comic books.
Right?
Like, how can you be miserable?
I'm totally with you there, Troy. We're living the dream. We might not be making the cash, but we're living the dream.
I mean, did they really make the cash at first, though?
Exactly.
And
Of course not. And even afterwards, comic artists and writers have always kind of gotten the shaft when the actual money comes out of their IPs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in fact, that's probably why SJW creators are so angry. They probably thought they would be going in there and just making tons of cash.
Yeah.
Because the way comics are merchandised and pushed and all over the place, one would assume whoever makes these, he's stacking cake, but it's not the case. You know, and you have to be like really, really high up there, really, really, really revered to be making that thing. If not, it's passion.
Oh yeah, you got to be like Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Frank Miller, those guys to be, you know, Alan Moore to be making that money that, you know, those guys probably thought that they would be making.
Right. Although I'll tell you guys, my phone already told me my battery's starting to get low. I'm gonna go for as long as I can until it gives me the final warning. But
Got it, Troy.
you know what I'm talking about, Code.
I do. My battery's probably gonna die here soon too.
Like, I just got the first gas light, but I'm gonna keep driving until the second one comes on.
Hey, at least you're trying to hang in there. I appreciate that.
Hey, why not? I mean, this is starting to become like the normal place to come and get together.
Yeah, I think so.
very-
It's a
and I'm-
nice, loose environment, and it's very
Exactly.
comfortable.
And thank you for hosting it. And thank you for hosting.
Absolutely. Echo.
Right? That's one thing that I'm happy to be able to do is just bring everybody together and just have a good time. Avid, the Dead Phone stream.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Sport gets on soon for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, he said he'd be on in a minute, so there's that. I'm just right now, like I said, I'm just happy to have you guys on. It's definitely worth having. Maybe the stream should be live 24/7.
I mean, you could start a podcast even, bro. It goes very far. You could do a lot with this.
If we scheduled it right, I'd be up for a 24-hour stream just to pump it out for the lulz. I think it would be hilarious.
I mean, we've got enough creators in the community that we could definitely take the ships.
Oh, dude,
exactly.
That would be hilarious.
We convene at one channel and just nonstop take everyone's attention for the day because people are going to want to keep getting in on that. I know I would want to. You know, if there's a 24-hour stream, you're like, all right, I'm going to check in again. What's going on?
Right?
Exactly.
Get in on that.
And yes, Avid, I am crazy.
You know, if there's a 24-hour stream.
Oh. Sub Spork.
Oh, nice.
Hey, give him a second.
Thanks, Roy. I can't wait to get my physical books and to work on number 2.
What's up, Spork?
Hey.
What's up? Hey, what's up, crew?
Spork.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to say, I've been shilling Juan all day. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever retweeted as much as I have in the last couple days.
And Jack Irons, because we're getting close to that limit. So
yep, 3 days.
Yep, we
let's
need to
see.
get over.
5,134. We're almost at the 5,500 mark, dude.
I know.
Guys,
I think we'll make it.
going.
Apparently, the last 48 hours is when things kind of tend to really kick up. But we'll see. We'll see.
Let's get it. Best.
Oh,
I
yeah.
pray we could push this.
Dude,
Oh, most definitely.
I'll admit, like, at first I was trying not to say we can do this and the wheeze on trying to get, Jack to the 5,500 mark. But you know what? As much shilling as I've been doing for you, man, I think I've earned the right to add myself into that bouquet.
Absolutely. Get used to it, bro. You know what I mean? We're peoples. We're fam. Get used to it. It's all good. We're just regular dudes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, also, you got to understand, too, we can only do so much as creators, and, we can promote and stuff like that, but it takes a lot of other people to also put that promote because everybody's going to be at different times of the day,
Oh, yeah. It's just to me, I guess I can finally say that I'm no longer the new guy in the group. I've kind of cemented myself somewhat, but it's being the new guy. I still have that initial feeling of I don't want to overstep my bounds, things like that.
Yeah.
No, I feel ya. But I mean, we all just chilling like villains, so we might as well keep getting it in.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely going to be fun here in like 6 months when Juan Pool's got a couple issues out. And I know you're not just leaving it at number 1.
No, it has 2 parts, and part 2 is actually completely written. Part 3 I haven't yet, but that's because I wanna. You know what I mean? When you create something all together, everybody, you tend to, when you do everything on your own, there's no one to question when you want to make an editorial change to the story.
Yeah.
The Juanpool that I presented isn't the exact Juanpool I originally wrote, if that makes sense.
I understand that. My comic that I'm writing now, like the way I originally had written it, like some elements of the original, I guess you could say, what's the word they call it, treatment that I had for it in the script and everything. There's elements I've changed because I'll admit I'm kind of a fan of bringing people the Berserk, the original OVA Berserk, the way they brought you in at that first episode, and then they go into the past and explain how he got there. I'm a big fan of that type of storytelling.
Right. Exactly. And then there were points as I was kind of switching things up that I realized I wanted to be able to connect certain things to later events, and not even necessarily that will happen within Journey of the Huang, the complete 3 parts. I want to start setting things up for the greater universe I want to create. Because I don't know if anybody saw the tweet, but my eventual plan is I would love to spin off these characters that I'm creating to teams.
I saw that earlier. I think I retweeted it for you, actually.
Yeah, and thank you for that. But I think it would be a great way to generate work in the community, and to start pitting people together and actually working on stuff towards a goal. I'd probably come up with the rough outline of the story, give it to the writer, let him script it out. He gives it to the penciler, he gives it to the inker, and they give it to the colorist, and someone letters it. And that way I can keep pumping out things from my universe that come to my head and not have to do it myself. I can focus just on Huanpu, because I think I decided I'm not ever going to make a team for Huanpu. I will always make Huanpu myself. I just feel like something would get lost.
It's like Seth MacFarlane said when he first started working with the Family Guy treatment and everything. He was such a micromanager, and he didn't want anyone having, their fingers in his pie, if you will.
Yeah.
And I completely understand that. Also, first off, Soren the Dark Lord said, how many edits would you all say you all went through before you got your final product? Which I think is a good question.
Go ahead, Troy.
Let me see. A good amount. A lot of the editing too was stuff ending up on the cutting room floor. Because you only got so much space and so many pages to tell a story, and that's when you start deciding, does the narrative need this panel? And clearly, I guess I made all the right choices I need to, because the story's coherent. You know what I mean? You can follow it, and it flows all together. So I don't know if I could put a number, but there were a good amount of edits and a lot of cutouts.
I definitely couldn't put a number on my stuff. It's been a labor for about the last decade of me just constantly rewriting and editing as I change my mind. So a lot, Sauron, a lot.
I would say even for myself, I agree with those guys. Both Jack and Mr. Marvel. I can easily say hundreds of times, because there's everything you think you're going to write might work. In the long run, it may not work, and you end up ditching it. And you got to come back. Sometimes you'll come back to that idea. If it's like the old adage is, if it sticks, go with it. If it doesn't, throw it away. You might need it again some other time.
Oh, yeah. And I haven't even created the comic. And like I said, I've changed a lot of things from how I originally had Raziel, including his name. So it's one of those, give it time. And I need to start putting drawings of them up on Twitter so y'all can really see what I'm working on. But Midnight Cherry, which Midnight, may I say, you've been a big cheerleader for me, and I really appreciate it. But he asked you, Troy, you guys are creating, or said to you, you guys are creating organic stories that grow, not trying to force artificial, unrealistic ideas into existing worlds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I wanted to add one more thing as far as edits. Number one Marmaduke fan offered to edit my book and act as the QA, and he actually gave me really great suggestions that in the end I think made it way more powerful. So I just want to shout him out. Number one Marmaduke fan. We all know him. He's a wonderful actor to the community. We all love him, and I can't thank him enough. I
think I've made a really bad first impression, so I don't think he likes me too much, and that's my own fault. So I'm just kind of like, give him space. I did it to myself.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
Just come back strong, man. Just I don't think giving him space is the right thing to do. Just do what you do, and the good work will catch back up. To keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. He's a good guy. Don't worry about it.
He is
Just
give
it time.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm making sure to take full responsibility for it. That's
fine.
my big thing.
You're fine with Marm. If you pissed me off, I would not be here. Because I'm a jerk, and I apologize, but I'm a jerk. So I apologize, but I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Cody can tell you, I'm working on it.
He is. He's the man. He's got it.
Oh yeah, no. What happened is like it was a stream that Cody was in, and Cody was mentioning my how he did an interview with me, and I went full 5-year-old in the comments. Not even like I read it afterwards and was immediately embarrassed. I was like, oh god, that did not come out how I wanted it to.
It was not a big deal to me. I'm just saying, I saw it. It's fine.
Oh man.
Like, so that's why I'm, like I said, though, I'm willing to step up to the plate and be like, that was my fault. I take responsibility when I screw up, and that was something I did that I in retrospect regret.
I dragged you into it, so I'll take my share of that too.
But once again, like we mentioned way back, we're all good dudes, and we all know how to talk things out civilly.
Yep.
So, at least we're not a bunch of SJWs, and you were about to get an article written about you in BuzzFeed.
Dude, I would take that as a compliment. I'd be like, "What? Well, I've made it to where I'm BuzzFeed worthy. That's thank you."
Worthy is a loose word.
I made it to Reddit.
In that context.
I made it to Reddit. The picture of the Radical Nemesis in her "Ask Me About My Shitpost Agenda" shirt was Reddit. So that was
Troy, I wanted to ask you about that. Did you tweet Shoe on Head about that?
I mentioned her the first time I put it in, and I don't think. No. See, okay, here's how I figure. I'm sure she gets tagged in so much stuff. She just didn't see it. But I don't want to spam her because, like, I don't know. That's not cool. I feel like I'm so much older than her. I don't want to come off as a creep.
Yeah, dude, what you should do is tag Roaming Millennial. I guarantee you Roaming will hit her up.
Because she is one of my, she is one of the influences. Yeah. In fact, I would describe the Radical Nemesis as Aiden Paladin meets Shoe on Head meets Irish Catholic Boston Girl. That's the Radical Nemesis. She is the parody of powerful female personalities on YouTube. Everything has a connection to something in the real world internet life. I mean,
it shows.
I'm hoping that everybody caught that the source is one big allegory for the internet. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's even walking on an information superhighway. If you really look at what he's on, it's that would be that's my metaphor for online.
Clever boy, Troy. Clever boy.
Thank you. There's a lot of I think the reason people like Wampool is that there's substance underneath the gags. Because I didn't go light with the humor at all. I try to go as hard as I could. But I had something I really wanted to write and share at the same time too. And that's the only way. It's the only way I was able to mentally commit to this character, because he was a meme, and you're not supposed to make memes more than what they are. But I think he just broke that, like he broke through the source. Very powerful character.
Hey,
I love it.
And once I get enough money in my Patreon, you best believe, because I only have $1 there.
Hey, you got that
$1.
Hey,
It
you got
takes a
more,
while.
look at it this way. You got more than I do. I got this nothing because I don't even
Yeah,
have Patreon.
I just finally
I got 9.
got like 23. I think I got like 20. And I'm very proud. Oh, I'm very.
Nice. Good. Right on, Troy.
Thank you. Thanks to Rags. Thanks to Tim Morris. There was one more, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna go check it as soon as we're off this and shout him out on Twitter because they're awesome gentlemen, and I cry whenever I see stuff like that. So thanks.
Aw.
So Troy, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Are you going to be doing a T-shirt with the Radical Nemesis?
Well, right now you can actually buy her T-shirt.
No, I want
yeah.
her. I want her in her bathing suit. I gotta have that one.
Oh, that is
All
a
right,
nice
and
one.
okay, so I'm gonna put it out there too if anybody's listening. I'm in the process of trying to learn how like tier rewards work and how to best do them from what I have at my disposal for equipment. But I believe one of the higher donation reward tiers would be access to the uncensored versions of things like that. 'Cause yeah, Salivate. There's an uncensored version of that picture.
Oh,
My drool
Yeah.
is palatable.
Yeah.
Palpable.
I'm just. Did you get? Here's what I gotta say, dude. You got some great stuff. If you got a Teespring or a Redbubble or something getting going with your work, that's gonna bring some money in for you. I think because you got
I'm
to.
trying. I've been hustling as hard as I can.
It's showing.
Yep.
And people are biting. It's slow but quick, and I'm just trying to be as diligent as I can.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I don't know, in a couple of weeks, I'm itching. I got to start paneling part 2 and teasing out pages only on Patreon.
All right, guys, I gotta go, but I just wanted to thank you so much for having me, and good luck, Troy. Good luck, Sport. Good luck.
You too, Cody. You
Nerd.
too.
And you guys take care, and I'll probably be talking to you guys later on Twitter. But till then, everybody, thank you for showing up, watching these fellas. Get more people here, and keep watching them, and support their work. They're wonderful folks and just amazing artists.
Oh yeah.
Stop.
All right. Bye.
Later, Cody.
Later.
Peace out, man.
And Josh, the amazing animator, should be joining us here in a moment.
Awesome.
That's actually perfect because I just got my second Gaslight, guys, so I'm about to jump off as well. And that sucks. I would have loved to have been on the chat with Josh, and dang, we're gonna have to set up another one.
Well, we're gonna be doing one probably either tomorrow or Thursday, possibly maybe Wednesday, because Cody's in the last stretch, so we got to get him that overload. You know what I mean?
I'm down if I, I definitely can always jump in for at least like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you for having me. Everybody's great. Guys, you heard that. Jack Irons, let's push a little bit more. Sporkman, he's doing his thing. He's got that. Thank you so much, Josh. Guys, if you haven't gotten Wampu, go get it. It's only $2, kid. $2.
Better than a Marvel comic.
And if you do buy it, please rate it and leave a comment because that actually helps it rotate better amongst the site.
Yep.
And Josh, awesome. I got a couple seconds with you, but I gotta leave because my phone's about to die. I was just saying my goodbyes. Another great man right here. I'm glad he's gonna be able to. This is how the meeting of the mind works. We jump in and out. And that's awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm just sad I missed you, man.
No, don't worry. We're gonna do this. We'll probably talk later on Twitter, anyways.
Yeah, of course.
Peace out, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm out of here.
Peace out. Have a good one, man.
And say, nice to finally meet you, Josh.
Hey, you too. Always happy to meet a new face.
And what do you know? We have 2 Joshes in the call.
Oh shit! Who's the other guy?
Uh-oh. So hey, Nerd, I wanted to give you a shout out here. I don't know if you know. I talked to the guys from Bloodline, and they're up for doing a interview stream.
Oh, cool.
So
I only just found out about that today. So
yeah. So both any of you guys, Josh and Josh, both of you guys, whoever wants to jump in on that, I definitely want to have a couple people so we can know that we got a crew to support this group. I mean, we gotta, yeah. When I saw the artwork, I was like, holy shit, because HP put it out. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, this artwork fucking rocks. We need to support it.
Yeah, I only saw it for just briefly not even a few minutes ago, probably, but or a few hours ago. Sorry, mixing up my times. But yeah, it looks pretty damn amazing.
Yeah,
and based on just the blurb that I saw, the what was it? Star Wars meets Game of Thrones. I'm down for that.
See, I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. I never have been. But then again, my first experience with Game of Thrones was the Red Wedding, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, that is not something that should be done. It's killing someone at your child's wedding is just like the most, I get to say, crass thing you could do, an uncivilized thing you could do, so I've refused to ever watch it.
Well, but that's what makes it so interesting, though. That's what makes it exciting, is because you don't see something that horrifying coming. It was surprising, and main characters were dying left, right, and center. It was something pretty shocking, especially for mainstream television TV series.
Oh yeah, I understand the concept, like, and don't get me
wrong. That's what makes it good. That's what I'm saying.
I think I'm probably worse. I bowed out after pretty much the first episode when the brother and sister were having sex. I kind of had to, yeah, that was pushing it a little too far. Like, I didn't mind the first scene, but I had to end it there.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Hey, their own.
Yeah, to each your own. But I applaud anybody who likes it, and that's one great thing about Medium or art. We have things for everybody. Yeah, I was gonna say, Josh, you want to turn up your mic volume a little bit?
I turned them up on my end.
Let me just see. Is this doing anything? Is that better? Check 1 2 check checkity check.
Little bit.
Okay, I'll just crank that then. Check.
But that's the one good thing. There's always something out there for everybody.
Yeah.
And to sit there and say, oh well, this isn't for you. Who cares? If it's not for you, change your channel. Watch something else. There's a lot of stuff on TV I don't watch. But I don't sit there and bitch that, oh, well, that can't be on TV, because it might entertain somebody else.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's why all this gatekeeper nonsense in the comic community or in the comics industry has been such like a ridiculous thing.
Love the mushroom on your bed, Josh.
Oh yeah, I got my little Mario mushrooms, It's a surprisingly comfortable pillow. When you're just like lying in bed, you want to do a little sketching or do whatever. It like kind of props your neck up at like just the right angle.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff people aren't going to like that I like. I love watching history stuff. To the average person, it's probably boring.
No, I'm right there with you.
I find history very entertaining so long as it's presented in a certain way. When it's just like textbook nonsense, like I couldn't do history class,
Right.
But
really,
I love all kinds of shows and documentaries and things that kind of like take that and put like an entertaining spin on it, or at least just present it in an entertaining way.
All I have to say, Josh, is you would hate my book collection because, like, the majority of it is stuff like books on history, physics, just everything educational, and a lot of stuff on religion.
I got nothing against that. I like learning about that stuff. I'm just not so good at the book learning. When it comes to books, it's got to be entertainment, or I have a very hard time getting through it.
Yeah, like I said, that's I learn well that way, but at the same time, I don't do good in a school setting. Like, as much as I hate the movie Dirty Dancing, I've stolen the line "Nobody puts baby in the corner" and modified it for me. It's "Nobody puts baby in a box."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I've never actually seen that movie, but I can appreciate and understand the sense.
Consider yourself lucky.
I'm right there with you, but Josh too, because I did both all my masters I'm working on my master's. I'm not going to traditional college. Did my bachelor's long distance. Did my associate's long distance. I hate the normal college environment. It's
Well, the college environment for me was a bit of a double-edged sword. There was like I was very much an outcast. Even in an art college, I was very much an outcast.
Yeah.
Which is saying something. But I think a lot of that has to do mostly with me just having very strong opinions about things and not being afraid to voice them, which, in today's PC world is a very, that's a no thing to do, right?
Yep.
How dare you have opinions that don't match the orthodoxy?
Real quick, Josh, Avid asks, is your mic set up on your computer or your headset?
It's actually, I have a Shure mic here that I have set up through the M-Box. I don't know if... Wait, maybe I'm even on the wrong...
Roy brings up a really good point. I feel like...
Is this better?
That is much better.
Okay, I was turning up the wrong volume node before. That's why it didn't work. My bad.
Awesome. I kind of agree with Roy. I'm the same way. I was talking with that guy yesterday, and I was trying to tell him, like when you need something for representation, you look for representation in everything. You're going to be disappointed in life. I always say, don't look for representation in everything. Forge your own path. That's how you're going to find satisfaction.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm finding satisfaction too. Is I don't know if you guys know Jeremy Fine. But he does some really great caricatures online on Twitter, and EVS used it in one of his thumbnails for one of his videos, and he's been doing all kinds of characters. And as soon as I saw his caricature of Tim Doyle, we all know Tim Doyle, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that caricature, I was just like, this needs to be animated. So I started talking to him, and we've been collaborating on some pretty spicy projects ever since.
Nice.
We need the spice. And speaking of, I'm not gonna lie, Josh. Other than seeing you pop in on people's posts on Twitter, like I don't really know much about what you do or what you have done. So please fill me in and fill those who don't know you in.
Well, that's the problem, is that I do work professionally in animation, 9 to 5, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. But that's the thing, is because of the climate of the social justice outrage brigade, because I have these outspoken opinions, and because I'm on the Comicsgate side, I get slandered constantly for having the wrong think. And so I have to kind of keep that stuff a little bit under wraps because of that, because I've had people come after my job already once before for having the wrong think,
Which I think is ridiculous. I mean,
it is.
Like, well, my whole thought is like we mentioned earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were watching or not, but I'm a firm believer that differing opinions, one, help you be able to make your stance on your opinion stronger because you have people challenging it, and so you have to refine your argument. And if you're wrong, by talking to people with differing opinions, it allows you to see that you're wrong, and sometimes the truth is somewhere in the middle.
That's true. I mean, I've had a lot of different points in my life where I've been confronted with very controversial subjects and controversial thoughts that I've had to work out, to figure out, like, where do I stand on this particular topic, like things like abortion, and it's like, that I won't get into that because that's a very touchy subject for a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So I'm just not going to bother, but it's just as an example. And like self-reflection is a skill.
Yep.
And it's a skill that I feel a lot of people have completely lost. I don't see a lot of people using it very often, particularly those outrage brigade people. They want to be sequestered from reality. They want to be protected from opposing opinions because I think they fear how it might change them. I think that's one of the primary motivations for their echo chambers and their bubbles.
You know, really good response that I've always heard is they don't do human very well.
Yeah. Reading a lot of the comments that a lot of them say, because I find it very entertaining because of that, because it is so bizarre, because it is so outside of the norm, and it just becomes entertainment for us and embarrassing for them. If they were capable of being embarrassed, they would be.
Well, like, I think the BBC skit that came out a couple weeks back with
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, like that is a prime example of how sick and tired people are getting of them, because of the fact that in England, wrong think can pretty much land you in jail now. And
well, not even pretty much, it can.
Well, yeah, true.
And it has.
Yeah. But
what was it? Did you hear? Apparently, the guy. Do you remember when that guy? He like put some bacon in front of a mosque in Britain, and then he got jailed for that.
Why does it not surprise me?
But get this. Apparently, he also died in jail. So their little hate speech laws could under the right circumstances or the wrong circumstances, depending on how you look at it, it could be a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I said all the Monty Python guys would, if they were doing their stuff now, they would be in so.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, just look at the whole Count Dankula situation. I mean, how utterly ridiculous was that?
Oh my God, that was a hilarious video too.
It was every time I watch it, I laugh hysterically. It's utterly hilarious. But also the fact that he openly points out at the very beginning of the video, before he even gets into the joke, that it is a joke, that he gives it all of the context you could possibly ever need to say, oh yeah, it's just a joke. And the joke is Nazis are bad. He puts it all out there on the table right from the get-go, and people still try to get upset about it. And he still got arrested, and he still got convicted. Utterly insane.
Oh yeah. And like the worst part about it is when you remove the ability to allow comedians to do their job, which is be funny and poke fun at uncomfortable subjects, you remove the ability to more or less handle most situations. It just, because if you can't laugh at, especially if you're going through a similar situation, if you can't laugh at it, it just eats you alive.
Yeah, absolutely. But not only that, but if it keeps going in this particular trajectory, then comedy is going to be basically a verboten career, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know, something like, you know, if the outrage machine was so real, you know, on a lot of these things, I mean, how many times, especially as a Christian myself, and I know Josh, you and I, we've talked about some religion stuff, and
briefly,
yeah. But if I had an outrage of how much, like, say, Monty Python bashed Christianity and some of their stuff, I mean, they lambasted Christianity straight out the door. If I had such an outrage, you know what I mean? It's like
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's like, oh, you know, it's so infuriating, frustrating that these people can't see that. Look, they're not being serious. It's funny. Get a life, really.
Yeah.
Well, and real quick before you go, Josh, all I have to say is this is the level that Monty Python were. The Meaning of Life was not a funny movie, which is the ultimate joke, because that was the joke, is the meaning of life isn't funny.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. Life is serious, you know, life is hard, life is pain. And but that's what makes us stronger as people. Is getting through that pain, learning to overcome it. It's why all of the heroic myths, like the superheroes and whatnot, have persisted and prevailed for so long, is because that's exactly what they are. Is a representation of life itself. Yeah. That life is hard. That there are struggles that need to be overcome. You know.
Well, my whole thought when it comes to comic books is, if you look at, like, okay, I followed the Greek pantheon, all right? And what did the Greeks had? They had that classic hero's tale, you know, the Odyssey, the Iliad, all the various tales of Hercules and so on and so forth. And what comic books are is those tales for us today.
Yeah, they're just a modern representation of the classical myths. Absolutely.
Well, there was a recent if you watch like some of the history of DC, even all the guys from DC, they say especially like Superman, he is the Moses figure along with the Jesus Christ and the Messiah figure in Jewish mythology. Green Lantern, what is he? He is he's the magical being. Wonder Woman, same thing. They're all some sort of representation of those myth gods. Now, Marvel, not so much. Marvel's more grounded in reality. But yeah, like you said, it is all about how we've taken these old myths and reinterpret them for a whole new generation.
Well, and not only that, but that's why these SJW Marvel characters just aren't resonating with people, because they don't really have much in the way of struggles at all. It's all just self-gratification and what's the word when people are always like patting you on the back saying, "Oh, you're so wonderful. Oh, we love you."
Self-deprecation?
No. That's the opposite of that.
Yeah, but that's what it really is. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Well, there's always been some self-deprecation in like a lot of comic books to a degree, but I mean, what they're doing is they're taking all of the drama out of these drama books. And what are comic books at the end of the day? It's drama.
Yeah.
And now there's no drama in them. Look what's like Miss Marvel, like one of her most recent comics was basically her having a sleepover and talking about how icky boys are. And I'm just like, that's not drama. That's boring.
That to me that's what my niece does at 10 years old. Guys are icky. That's 10-year-old mentality. That is not adulting at all.
I got past that mentality by the time I was 8.
Right? Well, but my whole thought with that is these new SJW characters, they forget with comic book characters, the biggest thing is they were flawed individuals that understood that they were flawed.
Yeah.
And they overcame it, and the SJWs don't understand that. They're like, oh, well, they're flawed individuals, and that stop there.
Because the whole SJW mentality is that, oh, you're flawed, we need to accept you as you are, Meanwhile, like us in the normal world, we're just like, okay, well, I need to be a better person. We're always working on ourselves. I want to be a good man, So I have to be able to reflect upon myself. Where are my weaknesses? What do I need to work on? And that's what helps me to improve as a person. If you don't do that, if you just stay sequestered in your little echo chamber bubbles forever, you're not going to grow as a person. You're going to be the same person, and you're not going to be happy.
To expand on what you said there, it's it reminds me of the first Captain America movie where Erskine is like, remember who you are, not just a good man, or not just a perfect soldier, but a good
man.
Yeah.
And for someone like me, that resonated quite a bit. But with like the SJWs, they might just be like, oh, there's muscles. He's masculine. That's evil. Patriarchy.
Oh yeah.
I can't get past surface level details.
Oh yeah. Spork, I think we're coming through on your side.
Someone's echoing.
Yeah.
It's gone. Okay.
Yeah. But no, but that's the whole thing. It's like, when you sit there and say, oh, well, my flaws are what make me good. And it's like, no, your flaws aren't what makes you good. Overcoming your flaws are what make you good.
Exactly. It's all about the struggle. It's all about overcoming. If you can't do that, then you can't become the hero. You can't save the day. You can't rescue the princess. None of that is possible if you just sit in your room complaining and saying, I'm fine just the way I am.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a moment here. I turned the volume down, but for some reason why Josh is still coming through pretty loud. So hold on. Yeah, it's my mic. I have it so close to my speakers. So
okay.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, that's why I have the headphones on.
I have my headphones on too. So-
Love my headset, dude. It's my first actual gaming headset, like hardcore gaming headset.
How's the quality of my audio, though?
Your audio's fine. It's actually really good.
Okay, good. I spent good money on this microphone, so I should hope it's good.
Real quick, Midnight Cherry TV just posted, imagine the SJW's creating Professor Xavier. It would have Jean and Scott helping him up the stairs and lecturing Beast to help. And that's a good point. That is a very good point.
It's not wrong.
No.
Certainly not wrong.
And, like, to me, when they decided to come in and mess with the formula of these characters and like, well, we want to make these characters the characters that we as SJWs can associate with, and it's like nobody associates with you. Ever since you popped up, we've been trying to get rid of you. And I'm not just talking about in comic books, I'm talking ever since SJWs popped up in general, we have been trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, well, I will disagree with that. I mean, SJWs have been around. I mean, since Alan Moore. I mean, and even Denny O'Neil and stuff like that. And the thing is, though, although they were still SJW, they were left leaning, but they still did a good job of giving their views without browbeating. That's where the difference is.
Well, that's the problem, is today they've gotten so emboldened that they don't even try to hide that what they're pushing is propaganda. You know, they don't try to hide, the message for their politics within a good story. Yeah. Now it's just the story is the politics, and that's it. Like it's just constantly shoving it in your face, and it's unpalatable for normies or anybody who really grew up with good stories.
Well, it's like I've stated before, Chris Claremont X-Men, for me, is the definitive X-Men run, because the way he knew how to write his stories. Imagine if those stories were written, like if he wrote them the way SJWs write stories.
They would be awful.
Well, I mean, it's showing now. I mean, and Chris Claremont, if you actually ever talk to him, I mean, he's a left-leaning person. You know, majority of all the Marvel writers were left-leaning. You know,
I think that's always been true.
Yeah, it's always been true. But the thing is, Chris Claremont did a way to make. And the thing is, I've always come back to, I mean, his run on X-Force and X-Men, he was very defining, and he made me as a young person in a school with people from other races. And I've always told people, I came from a racist family. I'm mixed, actually, Irish, Spanish, German, and Italian. My grandparents hated the fact that I'm half part Spanish and Italian. My sister and I are kind of like black sheep. My grandparents actually said, like, they hated the fact that we were mixed. We were kind of the black sheep. I understood racism for a lot of stuff. That didn't mean I didn't have respect for my grandfather and what he was. I just didn't like that aspect. So I knew what racism was. So when I got to school and getting into X-Men and stuff like that, it made me appreciate even more understanding what people from other races were experience. Because even though I had what would be soft racism in a way, it wasn't the way black people experienced it.
Yeah, well, that's a completely different origin story from my own, because I grew up in a very not racist family. In fact, the concept of race was never ever talked about, ever. It was never brought up. We never even questioned or asked about it, and so we really grew up just like anybody we saw that had a different color skin was just like, well, that's just a person with darker skin, that's a person with lighter skin. It's just, we're all people. Like I grew up watching like a lot of entertainment that had a lot of black characters in it. And it just never occurred to me that they were different, because like looked like a person, sounds like a person, acts like a person. It's a person.
Oh yeah. Well, you just started following me, Josh, so I know you didn't catch it, but Spork, I don't know if you caught my tweet out earlier where I tweeted out my nephew.
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, like, my sister married a black man, love him to death. The man's practically my older brother in a lot of ways, and, like, my eldest nephew plays for North Texas.
Nice.
Go Mean Green. That's why in my videos, when I'm wearing my hoodie, you'll see me wearing a North Texas t-shirt or hoodie. It's because of him. And like, I'll admit, I'm a very proud uncle. He's nothing like me. And I'm like, yay, you're not a screw up. And like, because of that, though, it's the way me and my older sister were raised, and partly I do believe it has to do with the fact that we were raised in a military home. And, you know, when you're in that type of environment, you can't be racist because it is highly, highly discouraged. If I remember, you can even be kicked out of the military for being extremely racist.
Oh, my uncle, and you know, you're bringing up that really good point. My uncle was some of the stuff that came out of my uncle, and he was from Georgia. So yeah, so yeah. So now my aunt was great. My mom and my aunt were not that way at all, but my grandparents and my uncle were some of the most racist people that you would ever hear come out of their mouth. They flat out told my sister when they found out my sister was dating him, because my sister dated black men too. And matter of fact, my niece is half Dominican. And she flat out, they told her, and they flat out said to you, if you ever bring this at the N-word and into my home, I'm disowning you.
Wow. And that's just shitty.
Yeah. So, and you know, to me,
a new challenger has arrived.
And, you know, so growing up there, and I went to Milton Hershey, which is a private school, and we ended up I made some great friends from all around inner city New York, Philadelphia, LA. I met some of the greatest black people, some of the greatest Hispanic people that I will ever meet in my life. And I realized that was stupid. Why live that way? Why be racist to other people? Just because you have a different culture or different skin. It's stupid.
Oh yeah.
You know,
real quick. Midnight Cherry just posted in chat. Left-leaning movie creators in the 80s gave us Ripley, Sarah Connell, Axel Foley, and now left-leaning movie creators we have Ray, Rose, and the girls from the girls from Hunger Games. Sad. That's a very good point.
Don't you dare leave out my man Blade from that list. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is still my favorite superhero movie of all time. Never gets old. Ever.
Oh, I love watching Blade. You know, and that's the thing is, you know, the thing is, the cinematic universe would not be the way it is without Blade.
No,
you know,
it was the first.
Yeah, because you know, when I first heard Blade being done, and I always follow comics, I'm like, that's a weird movie to kind of kick off your universe. And next, you know, when Wesley Snipes came out, and you watch that movie, I can watch that movie today 3-4 times a day. That movie is the shit.
Oh yeah.
Me and my friend Matt, we watch that all the time. Like anytime we get together, like one of the first things, if we're like, oh, we should watch a movie, one of the first things that pops into both of our heads is like, it's got to be Blade. And that movie
always be trying to skate.
I skate uphill. Yes, we say that to each other all the time. Or we'll do like variations on the one line from Blade Trinity where he's like, use it. We'll say like we're talking about Pokemon. We're like, choose it. We're doing arts and crafts. I lose it.
What's that, Flynn?
Do you guys like Blade 3?
I like some aspects of it.
I have a lot to say about Blade 3, so I want to kick this off. All right.
Real quick before you do, I'm going to run. I got to use the restroom. Get me more coffee, and I'll be right back.
Until then. Anyway, as far as Blade 3 goes, it's basically pure wasted potential. It had some of the coolest ideas that were just completely squandered through bad direction, bad writing, and just all around poor choices.
Well, the thing is with Blade,
I think it's a monstrous clusterfuck, but I do really like the film for when you break it up into little parts. There's some really cool stuff there, and I mean,
they're great moments.
And they had such a cast that just I'm just like, why did you guys squander the cast?
A lot of that have to do with the movie studio. New Line Cinema really stepped in on that film. You know, instead of letting David Goyer did what he did with the first two, they basically just said, no, well, this is the direction that we want to go in. Screw your script. And they just basically like shoehorned Triple H in because with the whole thing with him and Vince, because Vince brought a lot of funding to that film. So
they could have used. I think they could have used Triple H in the same way they used like Donald Lowe in the first film. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they couldn't have used him, but I mean, Dominic Purcell, I think, is this amazing kind of character actor, and I liked his portrayal.
Who was Dominic Purcell again? Which character did he play?
He was the big bad.
He was Dracula.
Dracula.
Oh yeah. You know what? That was, I think, probably the biggest misstep was how they handled Dracula, in my opinion, because they created this amazingly cool, like really like awesome design for him when he's like full beast mode vampire.
Yeah.
And then you only see it like 2 or 3 times, like, and half the, like, I think 2 of those 3 times it's like hidden in the shadows and you don't get to see it. Like, and then you would think if you were smart, you would want the finale to be like fully revealed and Blade's having a fight with the true Dracula, but no, he's in his like human looking form for like the whole fight scene until he dies, and then briefly transforms before
I think that they really didn't. They probably didn't have the budget to do the one that should have been done, or it was squandered somewhere else, or something went wrong there.
Well, I think a lot of it also had to Wesley Snipes definitely. One of the things is and I love Wesley. I think he's a great actor.
So do I, and he's just so cool.
But the thing is, in that film, he wanted a lot more money than the other two, and I think that was part of the problem. Is they're spending a lot more to keep him into the genre or into the franchise. Kind of like what they're doing with Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that. But unfortunately, that came back to bite him in the ass because he went to jail.
Hey, he's back.
I'm back.
You just couldn't leave us for long. You just wish you could quit us, but you can't.
No, I can't. No, I figured
we're like a bad pill.
And I saw it was still time, and more importantly, this hangout actually let me go through with my tablet, so I'm good to go.
All right.
Oh shit!
Right on, man.
You want to raise your volume up a little bit, though?
Yeah, you are a little low.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, Mr. Marvel's back with us.
Nice. How you doing, Troy?
Hey. I'm back.
But that's why I'm kind of glad that they learned their mistakes from Blade, and they did really good for the most part on all the other Marvel movies except for Incredible Hulk. It's a shame that they weren't able to really capitalize on that because I loved Ed Norton as.
I actually liked that. Like, I thought that was fairly good. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the old Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk, but the way they continued that on, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. I actually really like the Incredible Hulk. I still watch it every once in a while. It's fun.
My only complaint about that movie is at the end, after he beat Abomination, he should have shouted Hulk strongest there is. That is my only complaint.
Or Hulk smash or something.
But he did say Hulk smash.
He did say Hulk smash? Okay.
Yeah. Right when he pounds the ground with both fists and it does all the cracks that head towards Abomination and it gets his foot stuck in the thing.
What I find very interesting is, for the Avengers film, Ed Norton was casted all the way through, and he actually helped write some of that script. Of course, then he had that huge falling out with Marvel, and of course, then they brought, what's his name in?
Mark
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. Honestly, I still have to I think Ed Norton is better. That's just me.
I agree. No, it's not just you. I really preferred him as, it's particularly Bruce Banner because of just. He was much more believable as that nerdy, dorky scientist guy.
And I'm a huge Fight Club fan, so I'm always going to be partial to Ed Norton in that role.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are.
So now that Mr. Marvel's here, I just wanted to say, Troy, thank you so much for making Wanpool.
Hey,
really and truly, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Hey, thank you, man. Hey.
I I didn't know we had the Fonz in here.
Oh,
Apparently.
no, gotta get used to that. That's my catchphrase. No, seriously, go.
No, I'm getting used to it.
It is the opening to every one of my YouTube videos.
Fair enough.
Hey, Mr. Marvel here. Go back.
Oh
and watch
shit!
it.
Am I subscribed to you on YouTube? I don't even know.
It's all right if you're not. I don't promote it very well.
No kidding. I didn't even know you had one.
I got one, but the thing is, it's like
there it is.
for tutorials, and I ended up like kind of starting to do like let's draws and I don't know, I could never really stick a landing on what I wanted the channel to be, and now it's like kind of like when I have something on my mind that I really got to say, I just make a video.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the best way to do it because I find that the best YouTubers always tend to be the ones that just do what they want. They just do what they're passionate about. And anybody watching, like it's going to resonate with them.
Yeah.
Well, I find it funny. Like you, obviously, like I said, today's probably your first real like noticing me. Like so, got to fill you in. My channel started out as I was talking politics, and then I heard about Comicsgate, and now here I am. Yeah.
Well, my channel is basically just a portfolio for my animation, but because of my involvement with Comicsgate and my center leading politics. Oh no! I have to.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, well, I'm just saying, like, I actually have to be careful about that because people have already tried to come after my job for having the wrong think opinions, as I was telling them earlier.
Oh man.
Yeah, I actually somebody actually called my boss at work one time and tried to get me fired because I said, it was on Facebook at the time. I said, maybe it's not such a good idea to encourage a 2-year-old boy to be a drag queen. That was basically what got this guy to call my work and try to get me fired.
Wow.
Such a controversial opinion.
I can't believe you would say that. I can't believe you would say that.
Maybe we should just let kids be kids.
Maybe. I totally agree. And I think what people need to stop doing too is jumping to assumptions. When I was a kid, one of the most fun things to do was go in my mom's closet and get that on top of me. You know
Get the what?
Her humongous clothes.
Oh.
I was a little kid, So when you put something on, it was like draping. You're like, dude.
Yeah.
I'm in my wizard robe.
Hey, it's Tug.
Hey, Tug.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Umbrella.
I was listening to your stream earlier today, Tug. You don't mind being called Tug, do you?
No, man. You can call
sure?
me. You can call me.
I was listening to your stream earlier today where you had your kid on.
Mm-hmm.
I was like welling up. She's so adorable. She has the cutest voice, man.
I know. She loves telling stories too, man.
It's super cute, man. I was welling up. It was so cute. I was just like, I gotta go.
You need to find more. You need to find more of those.
She loves getting on there. She was actually on. I thought the story was cute, but I was like, so did you just tell me that you had your pinhead buried your turtle and then it came back? I thought, what the hell? What kind of story is that?
Yeah, but you know what? I also noticed because I've listened to a few of your live streams, and oh my god, you've really come alive when your daughter's around.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like he loves it or something. It's weird.
Yeah, it's almost like love does something to people that makes them passionate and excited.
Yeah, well, you can bitch about your escapism all you want. You love that to a point, but you care about that. But if you actually truly care about something, there's a little bit of difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of the same way when my niece comes around. It's like I'm like this whole other person when she's around. It's like, because she's gotten into comics. She actually started drawing too. She actually draws more in the anime style, but I've been encouraging that with her, getting her to create her own characters and stuff like that, but I love seeing her do that stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. There's this one guy on Twitter. He goes by the tag Demovier, and he's always posting stuff about like conversations and things that his daughter have said, and some of the ideas that she's had, and I'm just amazed so often at like the unbridled creativity of children.
Yeah.
Like, he was telling some of the stuff that his daughter was saying. She's like 10 years old. And I'm just like, that's a fucking genius idea. I want to see that. And I actually started drawing something based off of that.
Well, then we also got to bring up the fact that the innocence of children. I mean, they can look at a situation and they can see the purest, if you will, truth to it.
Yeah, well, I think it's more because like they don't really have the experience to recognize the like the themes and like why these things resonate with them, like why these stories are good. They just feel it on a deep level, you know. It's pure subconscious connection.
I don't know if Troy's trying to say something because it sounds like he's breaking up.
No, moving something. I just had to get something out of my way. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no worries.
You're fine.
I was worried. I was kind of like dominating things and talking over you.
Are you guys getting any extra sound from my end? I do have like fans in the house going.
I'm not hearing anything.
All right, good. I'm trying to get in a corner where it's not going to be a problem, you know.
Oh, us comic skaters, we're just such awful people with our apologizing and trying to be accommodating to everybody. Oh, we're just so awful.
I'm a sweetheart online. I'm a complete bastard in real life. So there you go.
There you go.
Well, that's a twist.
Well, that's once again to get back onto what we were talking about earlier, or actually in the last stream, about how we're always portrayed as like these awful people and this, that, and the other. We're so not inclusive. When we say we're for diversity, we're just lying and this, that, and the other. And it's like, do you even know half of us?
Yeah,
they make assumptions. That's for sure.
I've been teaching. I've been telling my my girlfriend about what's all going on with Comicsgate. She actually just joined Twitter today. And yeah, I've been telling her all about it, and I did joke with her constantly about it. How they're always like, how the opposition's always calling us like, oh, we're evil, white supremacist, alt-right, racist Nazis, and she and I think it's hilarious because it's obviously not true because you know she's mixed race.
I'm
right.
Alt-white.
I mean, here's a weird thing. Like, I grew up in Utah, pretty white place, right? Behind me, most of my entire life, we had a Polynesian family. Down the street, we had an Asian family. And then right next door, when I was a kid, back in the 70s, a black family moved in. Now, granted, there's mostly white people, and then, you know, there's Mexicans, and that has basically Hispanics have gone up over time. But, you know, I never had a problem with anybody. Just, you know, I never, ever had a problem with anybody, even if they weren't like Mormon, and I grew up Mormon. It was a little different. And most people around here, if they're not Mormon, they're Catholic. So. And
may I say, I lived in Salt Lake City for a year. Like,
Salt Lake City? Oh, come on, man.
Take your pre.
but like the Mormon temples, do not like Mormonism, like just out of principle, because a lot of the ideals are flawed. But besides, to get back on what I was saying, the temples, like y'all's temples, are gorgeous though there in Salt Lake City.
Well,
the church makes money.
The one in Salt Lake City is took them 40 years to put up, so it should look pretty good. So
we got one here in Massachusetts in Belmont. It is beautiful.
Yeah, there's no one there.
It's beautiful.
But oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Like I said, like I love my people because on a basal level they're pretty good. There are some like rotten eggs, but most often, and you know, when it comes to like dogma, we are a little weird. I'll grant that compared to most other religions. But like I said, I've never been really super fanatic about it. I believe in my people to be good people. That's all, and the community, that sort of thing.
I'm one of the. I believe that most people are good generally. It's the circumstances that you get raised by someone or taught things that kind of corrupts you. Because I find that the people that are like the least racist are the people that have never really been talked to about racism growing up, you know? Like I was saying earlier, like my parents, like they never talked about race. It never came up once in my entire upbringing.
Well, as far as I know, nobody really talked about it in my family. My great grandfather.
Probably why.
Well, my great grandfather married a Mexican lady. That my great grandmother Concha, and you know, so that wasn't a big issue. But my great grandfather was kind of a complete asshole. I mean, he was the type of guy that would whip a horse to death. I mean.
Real quick, Midnight Cherry said had a Mormon ex-girlfriend. They are nuts but decent-hearted people and look for the good in people.
Yeah, well, I mean,
sometimes
it doesn't really matter what ideology you subscribe to, as long as your actions are good. As long as you're a good person, you treat people with dignity. That's what matters.
It's really cool. There's one thing really cool about Mormonism, though. Yo, that lore is sick. That lore is sick. I'm serious. No, actually, between the ages of like, I want to say like 13 or 14 to about 16, 17, I joined the Mormon church because they went around like talking to, you know, the young kids that were kind of always on their own in the street, and they talked to me and my brother, and we ended up going there for a while. And I gotta say, those are the nicest.
Your volume's low, brother.
Oh, sorry. No,
you're really low, man.
Am I?
Yeah, very low.
Like I've already turned you up on.
I can
my
still
end.
hear you, okay, but yeah, it is a bit low.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Troy's right, though.
Not just telling you that you're away from the mic or something like that.
Am I like,
Troy's right. We will feed you. I'll tell you that.
yeah, you know, they're a great group of people. No one sings like Mormons. Okay, they will bring you to tears. No, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Jimmy.
There are times I wish we were a little bit more rambunctious in our singing, because we sing a lot of marches, a lot of dirges, and a lot of lullabies. But we don't sing any like bumping songs. So, but yeah, we sing a lot, and there is that big choir we're pretty known for. So,
yeah, and the way you go all out for Easter is awesome. Like I would say, Mormon Easter better than Catholic Easter.
I don't know, man. My Easter is pretty fucking kick-ass.
I mean, as far as the church service.
Oh, okay. I don't even come from a particularly religious family or anything, but we just have a great fucking time on Easter. That's my favorite, one of my favorite times of year.
No, I would say I'm more Catholic. I guess, you know, I finally just said whatever, okay, and I admitted it to myself. I'm Catholic, so.
See, I subscribe to a lot of the morality of Catholicism, but like I don't subscribe to any of the supernatural stuff. That's basically where I draw the line, is the supernatural.
Oh, but that's the coolest stuff.
Well, this is
I'm sorry.
Oh, my idea on it, like I said, I follow the Greek gods, but I view what you are originally baptized as is like a brand forever on your soul, if you will. And on being Irish Scot, I was, of course, branded Catholic.
Okay.
Well, that's my family hates it when I say if I wasn't a Mormon, I'd
Hey! Who's that gal?
Hey, we got a gal.
Hello.
We needed some estrogen in this stream.
Yeah, a little too much man in here.
I'm a mess today, so I'm keeping my camera off. I hope y'all don't mind.
Fair enough. We got me on the looks today.
Yeah. Your looks cover everyone. You're good.
You sexy beast, you.
There's some Milan coming off of you.
Hey, Gal, I thought you changed your name.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday, for a short amount of time, I was that comic guy because women don't exist in Comicsgate. Clearly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We're all just men in disguise, don't you know?
Either that, or you're just a figment of our imaginations collectively.
Well, if so, y'all have not the best imaginations. Like you could have imagined me so much prettier. Come on.
Oh, stop it!
Stop it!
Like
you're adorable.
Hey, you couldn't have given me like another foot of height.
But short girls are cute.
Hey, look, height is overrated. All right, as someone who's 6'2", it just means that you're going to hit your head on things more often.
Okay, well, here's an idea. You show me what that's like by just like let me ride on your shoulders for a while, and then I can And you
Do
know
you
what I
want a
mean?
concussion? Is that it? You want a concussion? Because it'll happen. I promise.
I want to know what it's like to be tall. Don't judge me.
I have a friend who's 6'10", and he says he's hit his head more times in his life than he's probably sat down. He said he constantly hits
I
his
believe
head.
it. I believe it.
Yeah.
Tall girls. I'm 5'3", and I have found that for a good amount of time in my life, it was only really tall women that were into me, and I was like, all right, cool, that's groovy.
That's all right, man. Legs for days.
Oh yeah, big old.
No. All I gotta say is I'm glad. Thank you, Mr. Marvel. Thank you, Troy. You've just made me feel so much better because I'm 5'8" exactly. I hit 16 and stopped growing. All my cousins are like 6 foot and over, and I'm 5'8".
Oh yeah,
I'm 5'9", so
little dude in my family. I think I'm the smallest guy in my family. About it. I am 5'3", a buck 20. I'm a little dude. But
Yeah, but you
put a big heart, dude.
talent into that tiny frame.
No, to be honest, when your voice sounds like this and you get all angry and you get in someone's face, they're like, all right, I kind of don't want to see what this little guy can do. And really gotten me out of a lot of things.
I could see it.
What's that Eddie Griffin thing? You do crazy eyes? Is that what you do?
Oh.
I have being the little guy, I had to develop crazy eyes too. It's a tool that is required.
I got crazy eyebrows.
I'm not sure. I don't even think I have to look crazy. I think I just am.
Well, you have a different defense mechanism. You just like
I'm
water
actually
up the puppy dog eyes.
No, yes, she has the adorable factor. That's what she uses.
something like that. I actually.
Bat your eyes, Ernst, and we'll take care of you.
Aw, thank you. I actually did kind of develop what I refer to as the cutie defense towards the end of middle school. You get terribly bullied for a while, and then at some point you switch schools, and it's just like, okay, what can I do to keep myself from getting beat up? And basically what happened was, without meaning to, I just started making my voice even higher than it normally is, and wearing cute clothes, putting my hair in pigtails more often, and things like that to make myself as adorable as possible. And then it worked, actually. I didn't get beat up nearly as much, which is wonderful, by the way. It's always nice
that
to
would have
not
worked
get
for
beat
me.
Yeah, I tried that once. It looked kind of ridiculous. So.
Pigtails and frilly skirts.
Pigtails and frilly skirts.
I might be able to pull it off.
Socks.
Like, dude, you guys make me feel bad. I was kind of one of the bullies because I used to draw. I used to draw like the kids that were getting picked on. I'd draw them awful, so the bullies would bring me on, and my comedy. So I'd sit there and make fun of the kid with them, and I automatically got part of the bullies. Like, how there's always the big tough dogs, and there's the little dog.
Oh, yeah.
Bark. That was me. Like, I was allowed to be the little dog that barked, and if anybody came to like try and beat me up, they're like, whoa, that's the mascot kid. You
mascot kid.
I had a very strange relationship with bullying because I got bullied mercilessly when I was in elementary school, and I kind of, for a little bit there, I tried the whole pay it forward thing with the bullying, where it's like I became a bully, but I was really bad at it. I kept making friends with the people I kept bullying, so.
I'm just imagining you like trying really hard to bully and just winding up complimenting people and becoming besties with them. Just like, you know what your hair looks like today? It looks like heaven.
One of the things I remember, the only thing I really remember from back in my very brief bullying stint was I made one of the guys who I ended up being friends with later, who I'm still friends to this day. I like forced him to kiss a girl. I like took their heads and like mushed them together.
Dude, you should have bullied. I needed a bully like you.
Now that I'm looking back on it, it was more like a public service.
All right.
Right? I was a terrible bully.
Well, it just reminds
me. You know how much trouble you'd get in today?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
God. Dude, you'd probably get like, you'd get a charge.
I'd be in jail.
They would have sent cops in the school and you would have been arrested.
Right.
My school already had cops. We
they
just
would
have
have
to
blamed
call in the ones
all
for
men for you. All men would have been blamed because of Josh.
All I gotta say is about Josh and bullying. He just reminds me of the Broadway episode of South Park where they're having the bro off, and it's like, I respect you, bro. I respect you too, bro.
It's kind of true. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty indicative of what the experience was like. I would get into fistfights. One of my longest lasting best friends, I met in a fist fight between me and him.
But that's how
boys are so weird like that. Y'all can punch each other in the face one day, and the next day you guys are just drinking beers together and having a blast.
It's because
being a man.
We figure out a hierarchy, and then once that's established, we're cool. That's the way it is.
Pretty much. But not only that, but like it gets all that anger and frustration.
Right.
Out. It's a hell of a.
You get your testosterone out, and then you're able to work with each other. It's one of those things that just happens.
Yeah. It makes you tougher, kid, and then you guys are tougher together. You know what I mean? Now I'm serious.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm completely on board with you.
I'm laughing because I realize that guys are like that. It's just it seems odd to me as a girl because I like to think I'm less so than most other girls because I like to think I'm a special snowflake like that. But we can be super vindictive, dude. You do one thing wrong, we hate your guts for the rest of your life.
Because you don't fight, you bottle it up and you just let it like build and you never release
we don't fight face to face for the most part. We'll just destroy your life and reputation for the rest of your school days.
Here's the thing I've observed about ladies or young women is that they tend to backbite a lot. They'll say one thing to each the face, and then they'll do something behind their back. If that happened with men, that would cause all kinds of violence, and it would be bad violence because it's not honorable from our perspective. But with women, it's a whole different paradigm, and I don't envy it. It makes me like when I see it happen, it's not something I like contemplate, and I usually want to get out of Dodge because
makes me glad I'm not a woman.
Trust me. It's probably actually a lot less traumatizing to get punched in the face than it is to have a group of girls who just decide they don't like you for some reason try to destroy your life for multiple years.
Absolutely.
Oh, I've actually been on the receiving end of that because my ex-wife actually used to beat me.
Oh wow, really?
Oh wow. Yeah. My ex-wife used.
Sorry to hear that, man. That sucks.
You know, hey, that's the thing is I always raised you never hit a woman, never raised a hand to a woman. Yeah. So when she would hit me, I just let it go, because I didn't want to be the one ending up in jail.
Well, that's exactly what would happen too.
So, I could tell you women can be very vindictive and yeah.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a man alive that wouldn't agree.
But anyhow, hey, you know what? As much as they are like that, I would rather. I still love them. I still love them.
Yeah. Real quick, guys. Just for the quick shout out. The whole plan was to give Avid just to be able to enjoy the stream, but he went ahead and stepped up to be mod anyway. So real quick, thanks, Avid. You are and always will be MVP when it comes to streams.
He just can't help himself. He's too awesome a mod. He's just he sees things that need moderation. He's just like, I must do the thing. Super mod man.
Now,
Avid's really good at community building as well.
Oh yeah. All I gotta say to that is, Julie, do the thing.
Yeah. Apparently, you're doing a good job, Avid. So, golf clap.
We're down with your skills, man. Way to go.
I am gonna say a few things positive about my gender is that that depends on the girl hierarchy. For the most part, it's only like the higher up girls who will be vindictive. All like the lower end girls who have this vindictiveness directed at them.
Alpha women are scary.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
They terrify me. I'd say my mom is probably one of them. She's a frightening woman.
I won't lie. Some of the bullies I had growing up were also women, or girls at the time.
Yeah,
they're mean. They're like the stuff that the women would do. affected me for far longer and far worse than anything any of the men would do.
Yeah, words cut deep.
I got gang beat by an entire classroom of the French students. Like just the entire class like beat the living shit out of me.
Oh my
god! Didn't bother me. I laughed in their faces as they were walking away, like telling them, "Is that the best you got?"
They don't win wars. They don't win wars.
No, but like with the girl, there was this one. Like I used to love listening to my old Sony Walkman while I was walking home from school, and this one girl started making fun of me for singing, and like to this day, I still have a hard time singing in public.
Karaoke,
Okay,
man, do it.
Now you have to sing.
Oh, I do karaoke. If I'm on a stage or in front of a camera, that goes away completely. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, well, words bite.
I gotta sing now.
Sing for us.
Sing.
All right. Here we go.
Come on, man.
Sing,
Don't be shy.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
That's a good bass.
Nice.
That's a good tone. That's a good tone, man.
Thanks, guys.
I can only be a bass in a choir. Because my voice, it's like it's not convenient for singing.
Hey, it's all right, man. Hey, Troy, we'll work on our Christmas album sometime.
Yeah, we will.
Troy, I'm like you. I auto-tune. That's how I sing.
It's a Comic Skate Christmas.
Yo, we should.
Now that I think of it, I could probably like kick ass with Christmas music. Let me see. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time.
It's the most
wonderful time of the year.
Okay.
Mr. Marvel Christmas.
All right.
It's a Mr. Marvel Comic Skate Christmas Spectacular.
Okay.
Now I have to do a little bit of singing simply because of the fact that I do have concert choir under my belt. So it's like,
Oh, he wants to show off. He wants to show off.
No. Let me show you how far I've fallen due to years of smoking.
There's a twist.
Okay, I wasn't expecting.
Hey, sometimes smoking helps you, by the way.
Wilson
Pickett used to smoke. He used to smoke a full cigar and drink. I can't remember how much of a whiskey, and then scream in a room before he did a performance. That's how he got his raspy sound.
Or what about Tom Waits? He's got that very smoker voice.
Oh yeah, but let me try this.
Yeah,
I want to hear nerds.
All right,
and I'll do Eve 6 just because it matches my singing voice. Sleeping through the evening, singing dreams inside my head. I'm heading out. I've got some ends who say they care and they just mind. I'll run away with you if things don't go as planned. Planning big could be a gamble. I've already rolled the dice.
Bum bum bum.
I spit and strut a stuff and clutter, worries in my worried corner. Maladjusted, rust and trusted, rust and sometimes brilliant, busted thought. Think I'll stay for a while. I'm intrigued and I'm red as a newborn, white as a corpse.
I promise not to try not to fuck with your mind. I promise not to mind if you go your way and I go mine. I promise not to lie if I'm looking you straight in the eyes. I promise not to try not to leave.
Josh is on now. Look at that.
You're speaking my language, man. I love Eve 6.
All right, now you know what
We've unlocked it, guys. We've unlocked years of repressed public singing.
Oh man, when I go karaoke, Eve 6 is my #1 song.
Thank you.
Hey guys, real quick, just want to let you know, Tank's with us.
Oh,
Tank.
Tank!
Oh, Tank! Hey, Tank!
All the
Oh,
way
what's
from
up,
the
Tank?
outside world, baby.
Tones.
Yeah, speaking of smooth voice, but Jimmy, now it's your turn. Yes.
Yes, I did say you had to sing on my stream.
I think everyone's got to sing at this point.
Oh no.
No, I'm good.
Okay, you guys don't understand.
Yes, Jimmy's gonna sing. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with something Broadway. Hear me now, oh, the bleak and unbearable world, thou art based and debauched as can be, and a knight with his banner all bravely unfurled now hurls down his gauntlet to thee. I am my Don Quixote, the Lord of La Mancha, my destiny calls and I go, and the wild winds of fortune do carry me onward, oh, whithersoever they blow, whithersoever they blow, onwards towards glory I go. There you go.
Hey! All right, Tug, your turn.
Tugs looks like he's muted on his end, so he may not be here.
I was muted on
That's
my end.
all right.
Actually, I'm going to bounce in a minute. I'm arguing with somebody. Actually, what I'm doing.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
this stuff never ends. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
Ryan
feel
Johnson
that.
stuff has kind of been a. It's fun to hang out. I mean, I like to listen and whatnot while I'm hanging out.
Round-headed
Anyway, I'm
buffoon.
gonna go argue with some people real quick.
All right, it's fun, man. It's nice to meet you.
You go and roast those people, Umbrella.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it. It's gonna be fun.
And like always, Tug, you know you're more than welcome on my stream anytime, bro.
All right, appreciate it, man.
It's the real brother.
Make sure to be particularly awesome so I can retweet all your awesomeness. And he loves comedy.
No, since we're on the subject of singing, like, all right, so my mom taught me this thing this is literally my singing exercise that I've done my whole life, and it oddly enough, is meant for doing, Broadway theater singing. Oh la la la, I don't dare repeat it. La la la, I tell only you. Oh la la la, I tell only you. In a village there's a fellow who's jealous of his wife. He's not jealous without reason, been a cockle all his life. Oh la la la, I don't dare repeat it. La la la, I tell only you. Oh la la la, I tell only you. He's not jealous without reason. Here is what that cockle's done. He's prepared to go to market just to hide from everyone. Oh la la la, I don't dare repeat it. La la la, I tell only you. Oh la la la, I tell only you.
All right. So what is that? What is that from? What is that
I
all about?
don't know. My mom taught it to me as a kid, and it's something that I've sang for years, and it's actually how I've maintained my voice, I guess.
It reminds me of a song that my grandpa used to sing to us. It's called the Green-Eyed Dragon with the 13 Tails.
I wish there wasn't any lag on this so that we actually could sing with each other.
That would be amazing.
But the problem is like when we start singing and then somebody else starts singing, it just doesn't quite work. So if I was to start singing My Girl, I couldn't get you guys going.
Okay, here's the thing. We got to meet up at a Comic-Con and all decide on one song and just wear matching outfits and everything.
Oh,
and just kind of sidestep and snap and scene through the halls of Comic-Con.
Okay. We did go. I'd cosplay as Humpool.
As who?
Yes.
I would love to do that. Although, would it be cultural appropriation if I do it because I'm white?
No, because then you'd be Gwenpool. You'd be gender swap Gwenpool.
Oh,
they have a point. You've got the blonde hair and everything.
Yeah,
I will
pretty
say.
badass.
Yeah. Although I don't know. Her costume is a little more revealing.
Oh, I mean, no. His stomach comes out of his.
Oh yeah, that's true. So I had some ideas today because I've been wanting to do some fan art of Juanpool because I just love him so much. Because I love the puns that we were doing earlier. So I was thinking we could do like a Juan Punch Man.
A Juan Punch Man.
Yes.
Oh, that actually sounds so cool.
You gotta DM me these things. So that they get.
Hey, if we're doing it on a live stream, maybe other people will see and they jump on it as well. Who knows?
Oh, are you saying that should be a weekly challenge?
Weekly challenge is who can come up with the best Juan pun and do fan art of it.
Yeah, that's how
I
it should be.
I got another one.
With a Juan pun.
I got another one.
Exactly, Namin. Exactly. We need it now.
We could do we could also do One Piece.
One Piece.
Get that hat on. I love the pun potential of One. I love it.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for puns and dad
Now
jokes.
I'm gonna want to draw these things because I too love terrible puns.
This must be a geek thing then.
He's. I mean, it's a must now. I think.
Okay, see, the thing is, in my family.
Oh, that's brilliant. You know what? No, you could do whatever fan art you want. I ain't gonna.
Okay. Numbing said one man standing, and Tank said one wick.
I got another one.
One Direction?
We do one. No. I was thinking. I got a better one. One as Blondie singing "One Way or Another." I'm going to find you.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna find you.
One solo. Nice.
Yeah, I can dig that. Oh yeah.
One solo.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so smart over here. Honestly, after I made my stupid Batman pun back when I was that comic guy the other day, I made a stupid Batman joke.
Yeah.
And then like the moment I showed it to Cody when he was finally able to like DM again, he started like sending me stupid like Batman related puns for things. And then I started sending them back, and I think one of my favorites was there's a man who sells bats for a living who lives next door to a crazy cat lady and has a huge crush on her. The Batman loves the Catwoman.
That is actually kind of comical.
Oh, Obi.
I'm not sure I quite get the
Kenobi. There you go, Mr. Marvel. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
You could do an Edgar Allan Poe piece, Once Upon a Midnight Dream. That's like
Wonder Woman.
Or yes.
All right, Gal,
I would draw that. Yes.
Gal, that's yours.
I think we're gonna have to split up duties on the
It's not mine. I just read that in
You
chat.
got too many for one person.
Hold on. Who said Wonder Woman? Indie Dave Comics said Wonder Woman.
Yep. Wander over yonder. That's a bad one because he doesn't wear any pants at all.
No, he's got the little tight things. He's got and the package showing. That's great.
We'll just have it be like really hairy leggings because like Wander's hairy, right? If I remember correctly.
So. Yeah.
He's hairy. So like there can be like a little fursuit underneath. It's covering the
very limited.
He cosplay as a comedian and be Wanda Sykes. Man, I will tell you, these white people, I tell you.
Avid, that's a glorious plug.
Joey, my boy. Job, you've got to be writing this down.
Okay, who? This better be being right now.
Oh, yeah, well, I totally.
Yeah, that's the best part about live streaming, man. It's still recording.
I totally forgot.
I will say I'm down to 3%, but I'm just probably gonna burn my tablet out with you guys. So if
that's
you
fine.
See me fall out, it's because my tablet said that is enough with you. One thing enough.
That is hilarious. Why do I get Cartman with his hand, Jennifer Lopez?
I like tacos and burritos. Gonna make a run for the border. I got the craving when the tacos can't stop.
Hey, Robbie, why don't you come over here? I got those taco flavored pieces for you, baby. Come on, yeah.
Oh man,
Robbie. I have way too much fun with Juan.
Okay, and for good reason. He's a fun character.
Yep.
I would love a cartoon of him. I would love Juan Pool the cartoon. That would be the most fun thing I'd ever see. Because I would totally do the voice. I'd say, come on, guys, follow me on my awesome animated adventures once a week. Let's go.
Yeah.
Once a week.
He would have been great for Adult Swim back in the day, and I don't know if they'd pick you up now with all the crap they have on.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, yeah.
Hey man, Troy, if all goes well with our current venture, there might be some Juan cartoons in the future. Know what I'm saying?
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
That would be awesome.
Oh, and Indie Dave Comics has got us, guys, because he saves all the transcripts.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to assume it's a he because of the Dave in the name.
Did you just?
Did you just?
Goddamn
transcripts and all this stuff.
Hey, it's Colonel Convex.
Apparently, there's transcripts. I don't know how transcripts works.
Colonel Comics away.
You know, I gotta hand Colonel Comics that. Every time I see that, I can't help but chuckle. He'll say something like completely either topical but twisted to the statement, or off topic, making fun of the statement, and then just end it with Colonel Comics away.
I see,
and he does go away too.
I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know if it's just me. I really see him flying away.
I do too. No, I totally
I see him pop up and then just disappear, and it's just, I don't know. He's a great dude. I like you, Colonel.
I'm reminded of Captain Hindsight every time I hear. I kind of hear the Captain Hindsight voice. You know,
Oh wow.
Colonel Comics away.
Yes. Can he
But,
fly backwards? Can we have him fly backwards like powdered,
Like Powdered Toast Man? Yeah, man.
Powdered Toast Man? Oh wait.
No, sir. I don't like it.
He wasn't a really good guy, right? He got found out to like have bad stuff on his computer, right?
Who, Powdered Toast Man?
No, the creator, John.
Oh, John K.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was like it was. I guess I think what I remember it was like some transcripts. Like he kept getting like young, like 17-year-old interns or something like that, and then like hitting on them all the time and getting into relationships with them.
No. The creator of Ren and Stimpy. John
Yeah. Which breaks my heart because I grew up with Ren and Stimpy. I absolutely adore them.
But I mean, they were really bad for us, dude.
Yeah, they were.
No, man, no,
Dude,
not for
they
me.
really-
Not for me.
Wasted my bastard because of that. Goddamn.
I'm all about that Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman anthem.
Yes.
As a Canadian, it resonates with me.
Well,
our yaks are
really large, and they smell like rotting beef carcasses.
That is hilarious.
I actually, true story. That's one of those kind of songs where, like, once I start singing it, I can't really stop until I finish it. And one time I went to the Burger King near my place, and I was just, I'm a real chatty Cathy with the help, you know. So they mentioned Ren and Stimpy, and we were like, oh yeah, the Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman. And I started singing it. I ended up just like singing the whole song, like right at the counter of the Burger King. Just serenading my burger boys.
I wish I could have been there. I would have.
It was a
I
good
would have
fun, man.
recorded it. I would have put it on YouTube. It would have gone viral.
Blown up. But they wouldn't be here because it would be all over, and people would have harassed us and made our lives miserable.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah, this is true.
We'd be the Burger King singers.
Let's see, on the bright hand though, see, I don't really have.
We'd be the Burger Sings. Yes. Oh my goodness, we needed to have done that because we would have been the Burger Sings. Yes.
Maybe I'll do a dramatic recreation in an animation someday.
We will.
And you can both do the voices. It'll be wonderful.
I already got an animation build of me, so that's ready to go.
I mean, I have plenty of drawings of like what I make myself look like when I actually draw myself, and it's always with like Todd McFarlane clown teeth. I don't know why. I always, because I have nasty looking teeth in my opinion. That's just me. Yeah, no, that's just me. But that's because I don't know what teeth is.
Guys, my teeth are literally too big for my mouth, so they're crooked. I've got such a tiny mouth that my teeth just don't fit.
I had pretty crooked teeth growing up. I got braces and they corrected it for the most part, but like they kind of fucked it up even further because of the braces, because they lined it up so the teeth were like perfect, like the front teeth were like perfectly on top of each other. So they like grinded down like over the years, so they're pretty flat.
I got lucky. My uncle was an orthodontist, so I got my orthodontia free, and they look pretty good. So.
Oh, God.
Hey guys, real quick.
Lucky. I did get braces and they went back.
This
What's up,
is
Troy?
a 1 minute warning, so I might as well just say my goodbyes because I just realized it's at 1%. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say thank you for having me on.
All right.
We need to find a way to sing together. So we can do, like,
We'll
barbershop.
make it happen, Captain.
Okay.
Someday, Troy. Someday.
Over the rainbow.
Adios, Troy.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks for having me.
An honor and a privilege.
Always a joy.
So, do you want me to tell you guys a sad story?
Way to bring us down.
Well, you gotta keep it real, yo.
That's all right.
So
Yeah. If you got a story, tell us a story. I like stories.
That uncle of mine, who was the orthodontist, he was a pilot, and he and his whole staff were flying back home to Grand Junction, Colorado, and his instruments went out, flipped over, and flew into a mountain.
Shit. That sucks.
But no, he was a good guy, and he left a lot of good memories with me. So I just wish it wouldn't have ended like that.
That's how we live forever. Is the memories we.
So when people say
provide.
like, I wish I was a millionaire. He was a millionaire many times over.
Really? Wow.
Didn't stop him from dying.
Yeah, one of my great uncles was a millionaire, and he died so. He was the most bitter man in my whole family. He was so bitter even towards his wife. When he died, he left his wife with nothing, and his wife would always go out of her way to try and make him happy, and would fail because he was just so full of bitterness.
It's odd how money corrupts.
He's probably focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah. He actually was so like determined to make sure that no one got any of his money that he gave it away to a variety of charities, not to donate to the charities to help out, but so his kids couldn't get any money when he died.
Wow, that's
how
really
bitter this guy
weird.
was.
Well, it's kind of like you guys have heard like Carnegie and Rockefeller, right?
Mm-hmm. No. Sorry, I'm not familiar.
Barons of the 1800s. You had like J.P. Morgan was one of those guys, and the Vanderbilts. But those last two, Rockefeller and Carnegie, were kind of like rivals. And when they kind of cashed out, they spent the rest of their life being philanthropists, trying to outdo each other by building like libraries and different things like that. And so they gave most of their money away, and their wealth for the time was greater than any of our guys today. They were just like Midas wealth.
Real quick,
Rockefeller said that he didn't want to give a lot of money to his children because it would ruin them, and it kind of proved that with a couple of them.
Makes sense.
So you gotta work for what you get.
Yeah.
Real quick, Josh, do you have a Patreon?
I do not as of yet. We're working. Jeremy and I are working on setting up the infrastructure for our current animation venture. It's not quite done yet. We're kind of waiting until our first animation is ready to release, and then we're going to kind of release that all at once. So I'll be sure to give you guys another ring and shill a little bit for myself for once.
I will shill for you too.
Yeah, we'll have to get Jeremy on here too at some point. He's a cool guy as well. Yeah.
Are you gonna like put that on like YouTube and stuff and just keep doing it? And
Oh
seeing if you can
hell yeah!
All right.
I plan on spreading this stuff everywhere. Like we got stuff that most of the shorts that we've been planning so far have kind of revolved around the Comicsgate community and the various projects involved. So expect to see some familiar faces. Is all I'm gonna say.
See, I'm looking.
And we're gonna have T-shirts too. We got some awesome T-shirt designs coming.
I gotta do a Patreon as well. I've been holding off on it, but I think it's about time.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I've been talking with my friend about it. And he's like, nah, what do we have to offer? I'm like, dude, we got like multiple comic books. How can we not have stuff to offer?
I don't even have anything to offer. I'm just trying to as bad as it sounds, get hopefully the funds to be able to make my channel better. That's my goal with it.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to spend money to make money. That's the way I see it. I've been putting a lot of money investing into this. Like the program that I use for the animation alone cost me $3,000.
Oh wow!
And then
our programs are pricey.
Then I got an iPad just so I could draw when I'm not at home, so I could work on storyboards and stuff. Huh?
What are you using? What's the program that you're using?
On the iPad?
Well, yeah, just in general.
It's Toon Boom Harmony. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard of Toon Boom. That's a good program.
Yeah, it's the professional animation software that we use at my work. So it's the one that I was most familiar with. I know enough about it that I could easily get this venture off the ground with it. So it was just a no-brainer for me. And I figured, well, put the money in and start building something.
Oh, that reminds me. I have a Patreon now. Would you like a link to my Patreon? All the tiers are booty related.
Oh, well, now I have to become a patron. Actually, I became a patron just the other day. It was my very first Patreon that I actually supported. Guess whose it was?
Rags?
Wow.
Our boy Troy.
Oh, a good choice. A good choice, my man.
I thought so. I like the dude. I like the work. I want to see more of it. It's an easy decision.
Now I gotta find his Patreon so it can be pitched as well.
Hell yeah, dude!
I immediately went looking for Comic Gals, pitched her first, then pitched mine. Then went looking for Sporkman, and
we don't have one yet, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, Avid found mine. Thank you, Avid.
Oh no, I pitched.
They got a link?
Yeah, right there in chat, dude.
Perfect.
Yes, I will say that I cannot offer much right now, but basically how it's gonna work is whenever a money goal is reached, I can start creating more content for the Patreon. So the more for the patrons. So the more patrons I have, the more I can give everyone, basically.
You know, that's what Wenger came up with an idea to do. Basically, like as people would get to a certain point, he'd be able to do certain things like his comic book and stuff like that. So basically, people like by longer they stay as a member, it would work towards a goal of like getting comic book printed and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, when we start up the
really
Patreon
cool.
for our channel, we're planning on having all of the tiers be related to like what we're doing. So we have like we're planning on doing stuff like having it so that if you pledge a certain amount, you can become a character in one of the cartoons. I
need that pledge. I want to see my Comic Gal character in there.
Oh hell yeah, we'd love to have you. Absolutely.
If you don't have any lady characters with thick thighs,
can always use more of those. But one of the tiers that we wanted to do is to make it so that if you do that tier, you get access to all of our assets. So animation assets, background assets, props, everything.
Nice.
So if anybody gets, I love that kind of stuff because I want to see what other people bring to the table. You know, I like the idea of all of this being very community driven, and I love seeing fan art. I thought it like the one thing that really bothered me about Richard C. Meyer with Jawbreakers is that he's getting this unbelievable cascade of fan art, and he doesn't do anything with it on his channel.
No.
Like, if I'm getting fan art, fan animations, anything, I'm gonna be like posting that all over the place and being like, "Look at this! This is awesome!" You know.
Well, I don't think that he can like. He'd have to farm out like editing and stuff like that, and he just doesn't know what he's doing. I mean,
well, he's got that Jawbreakers fan art page now that somebody else is running.
Yeah, it's a pretty good way to kind of
he's
find
a
it
cool
all.
guy. The Jawbreakers fan art dude is a cool dude.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's neat. I follow him.
But yeah,
I mean,
so-
Zach hasn't done anything but like use his phone to like just film what he's looking at, let alone trying to like incorporate it
And
in
his
other
lap.
media.
Don't forget his lap. It's a beautiful lap.
Everybody likes to look at his fly. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't seem to be much for editing in general.
No, at all.
Uh,
But, you know, what are you gonna do? He is what he is, and he's made it work. So,
I can't wait to start releasing this stuff, though. I think some of you guys are gonna completely flip.
I can't wait to see it, dude.
It's gonna be. I got a really funny one going on right now. I'm sure some of the people that are familiar with me that talk to me regularly have seen little snippets and little tidbits of what I'm working on. Gives you a somewhat of an idea of what we're doing.
You're such a tease, Josh.
I am a little bit of a tease.
This is true.
I think
entertain you.
Suspense
Let
is
me
hard.
see you smile.
Well, building suspense is important. That's why there's like teaser trailers for things after all.
The tough part is that we're just a 3-man team, so it takes a little longer to get things done.
I feel you on that. We were, I mean, heck, 13 years, we've only had 4 comics done with 3 guys. Yeah, I feel you, dude.
No, yeah, it's good.
However, I will say that with smaller teams, without like big industry corporation people leaning over your back, breathing in your ear, hey, it's a little easier to get your dream and vision out without any corruption or twisting happening.
Absolutely. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you guys a little link here to one of my things. If any of you guys feel inclined to see one of the things that I animated and directed.
I would love to do so. Please link me up, my man.
All right. Do I just put it in the chat here? I just put it in the
you
chat.
can post it in the no, you can't put it in the chat because only Avid can do that. Send it to Avid in Twitter, and then he'll post it.
Oh, so complicated. Well, let's find out.
It's so fancy.
Avid comic reader. All right.
Yeah.
I'll follow him, and how do I DM? Send a direct message.
I like the lap hijab joke that's been going around. And honestly, I prefer the lap hijab to accidentally staring at his crotch every time he lifts up a comic book. Like that makes things a little awkward.
So if anyone wants to see that, that's some cool stuff that I did, I think. It's only 20 seconds, so it's like really short. We had a animation festival in Toronto, and they had all the different schools had a like a challenge animation, I guess. So it was like we get 1 month to do an animation that's 20 seconds, and 5 people. It took a whole month for a 20-second animation with 5 people.
This is beautiful, Colonial Comics, and I'm gonna retweet this without any context whatsoever.
Oh, you know, I'll retweet your retweet because I'm stuffing my face real quick.
What are you retweeting?
CC down there. He just Avid just linked us to CC's beautiful artwork of
really?
Zach's crotch hijab, and I have decided to retweet it without any context whatsoever. So we're gonna see how that goes.
Hey, Josh, I just watched that animation. Awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. That one was that was a whole month with 5 people. The one I'm working on right now, I've been working on it for about a month, and it's a little over a minute.
Well, you got to wonder why animation takes so long, and especially, it takes hundreds of people to get a show done. It's just something that can't be done overall. That's why I have mad respect for anime artists. The guys who do almost all the cartoons except for Steven Universe. But other than that, I have bad respect for the animators. I mean, you guys takes a lot of skill to do that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's fun, but it is a lot of hard work. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. It's like countless drawings just for a few seconds.
Yeah, well, that's why I have a hard time when I come home from work at the end of the day, because I'm working 8 hours a day on animation. I come home and I want to work on my own stuff, but like you kind of mentally fried, you know.
Yeah, you burned out.
Exhausted.
I feel ya. I feel ya. Like I don't draw drawing after drawing after drawing after drawing. I just take forever on 1 or 2 drawings. I try to work on like 2 things per week. I'm behind now because for the 4th of July is such a big event for my family and my church.
Yeah.
Like I had to help orchestrate a big church event. We all went down to have a picnic by the lake, and then it's my dad's birthday too. So yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, my dad was born on the 4th of July.
Nice.
My grandfather's birthday was the day after Thanksgiving, and my birthday sometimes falls on the day before Easter.
Oh, nice. I'm in February myself. I'm a child of love. That's why I'm in the gay community.
Okay, like there was like a stutter, or maybe I didn't hear the T, but like I heard comics gay community, and I was like, wow, yeah, that I can see how that'd be full of love. Yes.
Oh, stop it, you.
So nerd, Avid asked if OG Dweeb would join in sometime.
Oh.
Don't know who that is, but yeah, sure. Oh wait, yes I do. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah, OG is always welcome.
Yeah, I just started following OG.
Same thing.
Yesterday or early today. Yeah, but I see your stuff all over the place.
I have seen OG Dweeb around, but actually, do I follow OG Dweeb?
Well, I know one of y'all is how I found her, and I was like, my first thought was I noticed a hum in her video, and I was like, oh wait,
I'm a follow.
I know the exact problem with it because I was having the same problem. That's why I suggested to her using Audacity, because I can use that to get rid of the hum.
Yeah, I didn't know her either, and then I was introduced when she followed the live stream the other night on the one that we had for the Little High Council. I followed. She started following me, and I just followed her right back. So I just started knowing about her. But I've seen some postings by her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like most of what I see from her. So I'm a slow to follow people. Like I have to kind of vet people over a long period of time before I follow them.
Yeah, Umbrella Guy, you did leave.
Gotta stalk them for a while.
Who are we talking about?
OG Dweeb. She's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Great girl. If you haven't followed her, I highly recommend it. She's got some good stuff posting.
I just did, and I regret nothing because I have seen you in my notifications, girl, so many times.
You mean you meant to say great guy, right? Because there are no girls in comics, Gabe.
Oh, you're right, dude. Bro.
We're all a bunch of straight white men who.
Yep, I'm totally white and totally male.
Yes,
100%.
Let's all go down to the construction yard and catcall some girls just to make them uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, why don't you shake that thing over my way, lady? Come on.
Honestly, I feel like if I was a guy who was talking about booty as often as I wind up doing.
Oh, you're a guy? Yeah, you probably have a few Me Too hashtags coming after you.
people would like accuse me of like sexual harassment and stuff.
Hey, I might do it anyway.
Oh yes. Hold on. Let me make an offensive comment about your booty. You have a great booty, Josh.
Should I stand up? Do you need to see it?
I'm just gonna assume it's a great booty.
I do squats.
I feel a little sad. Everyone else's son during the stream, but I do not have the lovely voice my sisters do, and my dad was a bass, so my singing voice is actually quite deep for a tiny lady, and
okay, now you have to
scare everybody away.
Now you have to
be awkward. Now you have to do it. You have to.
It's weird. It's weird. Okay, ladies are not supposed to be able to sing tenor.
I do know some ladies.
So guys aren't supposed to sing high. Guys aren't supposed to sing high.
No. If a guy sings high, he's like Freddie Mercury, and he becomes famous.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk.
Hey, Barry.
and you know, you did mention Freddie Mercury, and all I have to say is Freddie Mercury has been and always will be like the queen of rock. I'm sorry, just because of the fact that man could sing like nobody's business.
Yeah, no one has the rate that he does. Seriously,
Freddie Mercury is my favorite bundle of sticks. I tell you.
There is someone who has the range and a very similar voice to him. I think I mentioned him before because my dad is friends with his manager. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop things in group chat now because this is the second time this has come up.
I still want you to sing. Come on, gal, sing.
I don't know. I don't even know what to sing.
Show us your moves.
Yeah, come on. All of us but Spork and you have sang.
It's a bitsy spider.
Okay, I know now why it's Spork.
Yeah, my voice isn't that great.
Come on, I've thoroughly embarrassed myself already on this stream.
Spork, let's sing the VeggieTales theme song together.
I don't know it. I don't know VeggieTales theme song. Sorry.
I thought you would.
Oh, you know, it's like here come the VeggieTales.
No, it's VeggieTales.
I'm joking. I don't know. That's why I was just bullshitting.
Sorry, I'm a little too old for VeggieTales, and my niece never watched it.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a Christian. It's a Christian.
It's a Christian cartoon about talking fruit, vegetables.
Yeah, basically,
and fruit. It says VeggieTales, but it's very misleading. There's like grapes and blueberries and a ton of talking fruit and
somebody's requesting that we sing some Skynyrd.
What is Skynyrd?
Leonard Skinner.
No, I will admit that the 2 times I do sing though is of course in the shower. You know, it's typical, and when I'm driving in a car by myself, I'll crank the music up and sing.
Dude, I sing all the time. All the time. I practically never stop. And whenever I'm happy, I sing. When I'm working, I sing. When I'm showering, I sing. When I'm cooking, I sing. When I do the dishes, I sing. When I'm exercising, sometimes I sing. And dance.
So basically what you're saying is you just sing.
I grew up in a very musical family. My dad owned a music store growing up, so kind of surrounded it by day one. Surrounded by it by day one.
I'm an only child, so my best friend's family is like my family. They got 8 kids, and the whole family sings. So you go to their house, and all of a sudden it's a harmonizing fest. So yeah.
Well, my parents made sure to get us to learn instruments. So each and every one of us learned something. I played drums. My older brother did keyboard. My sister did bass guitar. My little brother does guitar. And oh my God, my little brother, he shreds. That kid is a wizard.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I did choir for a long time, but as I got older, my voice kind of got shot.
Avid comic reader is telling people to follow me and get people to ask me to sing on short videos like Edwin Boyette. I'll do it. I'm telling you, I get in front of a camera.
Wait a second. Edward Boyette scenes in short videos.
I gotta find that.
Why did I not know this? And where are these videos?
No. I don't think he sings on short videos. He just does short videos.
Yeah, he just does the Periscope.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Now I want to hear Edwin sing. Can we get him on the stream?
Yeah, get him on here and then get him to sing.
Have Edwin on.
He'd be like Mel Torme, like the Velvet Fog.
Maybe we should start working on Comicsgate the musical. We'll have Tim Doyle come in like Reality from South Park. I'm Tim Doyle and I'm going to destroy Comicsgate.
Didn't they kill Reality at the end of that episode? Wasn't that like the Safe Space episode?
Yeah, it's a Safe Space.
That's the only season of South Park I've ever watched, and I have such a respect for them now after that season.
One of the first animations I ever did, which is on my YouTube channel as well, is a mashup of South Park and Transformers. In the South Park style. My whole goal with the animation was to try and like emulate the South Park style of animation as close as possible. I think I did all right.
Did you do some of that, like doing like the stop animation stuff with like putting stuff on a board and moving it around.
Oh God, no! That would be way too.
Yeah, I had a friend in college that did that, and like the meticulous detail and the time it took to just do one, little short thing.
Yep.
We were over at his apartment, and he had this table set up, and he'd put the camera up on this rig and sit there and just minutely move everything, and if he screwed it up, he'd have to do it over again. Oh, such a pain in the ass.
I like this Indie Dave Comics guy. He's got some good stuff. Springtime for Hitler and Germany.
Yeah, y'all in the comments right now are wonderful.
Yeah, you got some good people here, man.
That means all like the hills are alive with the sound of music.
Oh, great. Now that I sung Springtime for Hitler, they're really going to double down on the Nazi rhetoric now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, and you're a white dude.
I'm sorry, God. I'm an Aryan white dude, too.
Yes,
This
all
is bad.
You don't understand. All the SJWs are going to use this as actual proof that you're a Nazi because you joked about it. Because everyone knows
Oh my
people
God.
make fun of things that they agree with.
I'm going to be Count Dankula 2.0.
Careful.
Well, you do live in Canada.
And I don't even have a pug to blame it on.
Well, I wouldn't.
Oh, Colonel Comics has got my number.
But no, I wouldn't worry too much. Fortunately, I think I've skated under the SJW radar so far. Hopefully.
Well, yeah. Once you get more popular, I think it'll be more of a concern. Like for the most part, I've gotten in a few stupid arguments. I think I got quite a few of my followers from one stupid argument where I was muted by someone, and then they proceed to probably call me a Mexican. I say probably because the person did apologize, but claimed that they did not mute me. And also claimed that the Mexican comment was not about me, even though no one else in the thread even mentioned being Hispanic, and I said Latina. I literally went through every single entry. I was the only one.
Classic. I tell you though, once I drop my first video, I'm definitely gonna have some soy boys reeing.
I had a feminist get on Sugar one time. They came in and said that it was it was bad, and I just said, I'm sorry, but thank you. And they were like, what? And that was all I heard from him. I said thank you for them saying that it was too sexy, and I was like, all right, whatever.
All right, what was too sexy?
Sugar
Lightspeed.
Yeah,
that's kind of the point of Sugar, though.
Yeah,
so that means he's right.
Just another male fantasy objectification of women, and I was like, yeah, thanks. That's what I was going for, and then they just fucked off.
I find
don't they know that women like sexy women too?
They do.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's patriarchy speaking through you, comic gal.
The thing is that nowadays, like all these young girls who realize that other girls are beautiful are now being told that they're lesbians instead of the fact that girls are beautiful creatures.
Yeah. That's why us guys like girls so much.
Beautiful in general, guys. It doesn't mean you want to screw them.
Honey, you're preaching to the choir here. Just want to let you know.
I am a pure 100% straight white heterosexual male, but I can also appreciate the beauty of other men. Objectively.
I think I agree that you notice when someone else, even if they're of your same gender, is attractive, and sometimes it can be super intimidating. Funny story. When I worked at a cowboy boot / cowboy pant place, right? There was a point where a very attractive male customer walked in and happened to have a very attractive voice. And I immediately pretended I had something to do in the back of the store.
Yeah. Well, I just
basically awkwardly ran and hid.
Well, it's like when I first heard Tank's voice on his review of Wanpool. Like, I was just like, the first thing I said, I went to our chat and I said, "God damn, Tank, you got a sexy voice," because it's objectively true.
Yes, I'd say quite a few of our friend group have very incredible voices. I really like Jimmy's voice.
Oh, thank you, dude.
I like Dollar. Dollar's got a. Oh man.
Oh yes, yes. Very, very much yes.
I'm Dollar.
He just kind of does the cowboy
He could do Batman. He could do Batman. He could
Hold on,
do.
guys, real quick. The stream is kind of messing up on everybody else's end. So,
That's what I've been trying to be like. Pause.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Everybody, go ahead and refresh your channel, and that should catch up.
Just the Google Hangouts.
Not us. It's on the other side. The actual live stream on the YouTube side is freaking out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think it was me because I was trying to say to Midnight TV bye, but you know how when you click on the name, it removes the ability to actually continue writing.
Oh yeah.
And then it freaked out and went to my main YouTube page. And I'm like, hold up, no. So let me refresh it on my end too. It's like,
Were they pressing F or something? What was the deal?
I was just trying to say, hey, later, thanks for showing up and everything, and then
It seems like it's fine now. Indie Dave says so.
Yeah,
are they hearing us?
Yeah, if everybody refreshes their screen on the YouTube side, you'll be able to catch up.
Okay, yeah. Seems to work.
That was my bad.
No, we haven't had Scene on, and Scene seems to be messaging over on Twitter. I'm gonna see if I can convince him to jump on if we continue going, anyways.
Yeah,
we're gonna get that.
Speaking of him, nerd, did you see he hit his goal?
Who? Oh,
Sean Campbell.
Yes.
Sean.
And he got John Malin to back him.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Sean is ready to go.
I love Sean.
How about that,
Sean is awesome.
What about that dweeb girl? Was she gonna come on?
She said she would be on in a few, and that was the last we heard from her.
All right. Well, I mean, I love Gail, but a little more estrogen won't matter, you know.
I think Jimmy just wants as many ladies in here as possible.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's so sexist. You misogynist.
Yes.
I like to surround myself with a bevy, a harem, my Sarah Gilio. That's what I want.
All right, real quick, so I figure we'll go till 10 and then we'll cut it off. Does that sound good with everybody?
That's fine.
Well, then I guess I'm about to bounce then because it's already 10 over here. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm sorry I haven't been talking a lot. I actually been writing while I've been listening to you guys for most of this. So.
Hey, it's all right, man. I'm supposed to be animating, but
I would be drawing. However, the area where I have all my drawing stuff set up, it happens to be where people are watching movies right now. So
how dare they? How dare they?
It would be too much background noise. I've hidden on my bed.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's 9 here, so another hour basically.
It's like 9:10 for me, so we might be in the same time zone, nerd.
It's 8:10 where I am.
Joshua.
I live in Oklahoma, southern.
I'm in
Oklahoma.
It's 10:10 right now. Where I am.
I'm actually a little ahead of everybody. I'm in Pennsylvania, so.
Got family up there.
Okay.
Good old Canada.
Josh, are you in Ottawa or are you in Toronto?
I'm in Ottawa. I was in Toronto for school, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, wait, so I know another Canadian. All I gotta say is, hey, fuck you, buddy.
Ah, fuck you, buddy. You can't talk to me like that, guy. Come on now.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
No,
I'm not your pal, friend.
Oh, you guys so butchered it. Oh.
It's not your buddy guy, not your guy friend, not your friend buddy.
Yes.
I know it well.
Scott's a dick. That's all I know.
Okay. If I can get Sean to come on, I will sing. How does that sound?
That works.
Get Sean?
Yeah,
get Sean.
Get Sean.
If I can, yeah. So
Sean's our boy, and we need to celebrate. He made his goal. Celebrate. We're gonna get more ferryman.
Pimpin' hype, Sean. Yeah. Come on,
yeah,
boy.
dude.
I just read the ferryman at lunch today. It was friggin' awesome. of it.
Sean, and
I
he's
love
like,
it. It's
"Well,
right up my
I
alley."
didn't think it would connect with the audience," and then I'm like, "It's awesome, Sean."
Yeah, that boy needs
Think
to
about it.
sell himself better because his stuff is so good.
It
But he
is.
needs- that boy.
Okay, guys, the stream is acting up. It might be better to like start another video if we're going to continue discussing. Simply because I'm watching it on the YouTube end, and there's
Yeah,
like,
it keeps lagging.
yeah, we're being too awesome. It can't keep up.
Well, what I
Too
was-
much awesome for one.
Nerd, go on your nerd. Go ahead on your side. Do a refresh on your page on your YouTube channel. Because remember, everything comes off of your channel. So,
are we talking to?
Yeah.
What's going down?
yeah, his Hangouts is fine. He just needs to refresh his YouTube channel for the broadcast because that's where everything's going through.
Okay.
How's that, everyone?
Are they seeing us?
Okay, it looks like it's working now. From what I can see, I'll try to keep track of the YouTube page so I can
I have
let y'all know.
the comments because I got the Hangouts hovering over that. Like, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yes, Sporkman is the best IT guy. Sporkman to the rescue every time, guys.
It's growing pains.
Okay, I'm gonna click on this link. Get up and see how page.
Little bit by little bit.
But Josh, no, you're welcome on my stream anytime, man.
Hey, thanks, brother. Likewise, whenever I get mine started up.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
we gotta have some really fun stuff on the streams too with what we got planning. As soon as we get to the point where we can do super chats, we got some hella fun stuff coming up. Also, I have a fun little group streams as well, which is I'm really excited about that one myself.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's a little game yet, but
I am working with OG to try to help her get her in.
What is Sean doing? What is Sean doing? He's Periscope before. He should be able to do this. Come on. Come on, man.
You know, I do want to say, like, for instance, like when Sean did what I read his, like, I got an advanced copy of his thing back when he first started before he started his Kickstarter after it failed the first time in Kickstarter and then switched over to Indiegogo. And I knew right off the bat that he had something magical with the story. Now, the art I wasn't a big fan of. I was a little bit more critical on the art, but it was good. But that story, that story, I think that story just nailed down very hard.
I actually like the art. I actually really like the art, but I find that I found that in the promotional materials that he used, which is a shame because like
the facial features were really good. His backgrounds were excellent. Like I loved the backgrounds,
and the visual storytelling as well was very good as well.
Right, and you could follow the story even though you had Sean's writing. I felt you could follow the story very well through the artwork, and that was very important.
Which is a very good combination.
Follow the story. As long as you can follow the story, and the thing is that the story itself is so good that what flaws there are in the artwork, you stop noticing it pretty danged quickly because you're so focused on the story.
Yeah, well, I think I was one of the earliest vocal supporters, as far as I know, in the Comicsgate community for the Ferryman, because I found it when it was still on the Kickstarter, and I started shilling it like crazy because I read his premise for it. And I was just like, oh my God, that sounds so cool. That is like high concept, like sci-fi.
It's an incredible little premise. It's wonderful.
So I was really wasn't anywhere close to made it now that he might even be able to push it a little further to get either some stretch goals or a little bit of spending money, you know?
Yeah, great, baby. Oh, I agree completely.
You know, I just got thinking about it. I said I needed to start tweeting out some photos of my character, and I remembered I had those photos loaded up to my Facebook, so I'm loading those up onto Twitter now, just 4 that I had drawn.
Cool.
Sean's having trouble getting the app open.
Sean,
Have,
are you an old
have
man?
him ask him
Are
if
you
he
having a
has.
hard time with your computer thing?
Doesn't Sean work in IT? Come on, brother.
Hey, Gal, when you're talking with him, ask him if he's getting where it says it's routing them to the app. Have them click on the link where it says on the second. There's two options. One, it tells you about getting the app, and then the second one tells you about click after you get the app. Click the link. Have them just click the link if they already have the app installed for Hangouts.
That's good advice. I'll go with that.
All right.
You're talking to a fairly IT illiterate sort of guy. I'm
Yeah, I'm pretty basic when it comes to that stuff too.
Like when they start talking the lingo and jargon, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take your word for it.
I don't remember having ever installed Google Hangouts, but I went on my first stream. I was like, well, I guess I didn't have to install anything. I'm good.
I think it's because I have a Pixel. It just was on it, and so it just popped up.
Yeah, if you have Google Chrome installed in anything, generally it will always route right directly to. Because that's part of the problem that I was having with Nerd. Like, we were trying to use Firefox, and unfortunately, Firefox, in its infinite wisdom, did some updatings where it will not launch the Hangouts for YouTube. So we had to switch over to Google Chrome to get them to go through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm on Chrome, and I didn't have any problems getting in. No problem at all.
So
I always use Chrome because I have a MacBook and Safari tends to suck. Or at least
yeah, that's for sure.
it doesn't work very well for me. I'd rather Chrome. Chrome doesn't work on my phone though. They don't have Chrome for Windows Phone.
Nope.
I've got a stupid Windows Phone. I missed out on the whole Pokemon Go craze. I missed out on Angry Birds.
True story. I actually met my previous girlfriend playing Pokemon Go.
See, I could have. Maybe I'd even have a boyfriend right now if I didn't have a Windows Phone. Oh my gosh.
See?
Well, I will gladly fill that slot. I will gladly fill that slot because of zero actual need and work needed. Because I'm just like in a different state and not really.
He's just a hero that way.
Yeah.
You're not near enough to hug. I'm sorry. That's kind of a requirement.
What you need, comic book gal, is for me to bully you.
Yes.
You'll find a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, were you here for that? If only it was the 90s, it'd be perfectly fine.
Well, Puerto Rican, not Mexican.
My Cupid hands.
Hispanic, Puerto Rican.
Latina. You can just like the Latina covers it.
Is it not Latinx?
Latinx, yeah.
Latin eggs.
Latin eggs.
Latin eggs.
You know how like the progressives, they put the X at the end of Latin.
That's supposed to include non-binaries and such. However, my general opinion is that Spanish, whenever you're doing a Spanish word in general, it assigns technically gendered to even inanimate objects. Like basically, if it has an A at the end, it's considered feminine. If it has O at the end, it's considered masculine. So, like, there's a ton of inanimate objects that have random genders according to that rule.
Just like
So
French.
So there's really no point in.
How does it sound when they speak genderless? I mean, my family speaks a lot, but I've never heard them use the X suffix.
You pretty much have to end every single word with X.
Yeah.
If you're speaking Spanish, because so much of it is technically gendered, even though a lot of the things described are not gendered. Basically, if it is a noun, if it's a noun, it probably has some sort of strange gender applied to it.
So like that. Oh, this is okay. I don't even want to comment on that. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it is.
So unfortunately, both looks like the same thing for Sean. OG was having the same problem.
Oh,
it looks
dang.
like the Google Hangouts is not routing to the app for some reason. Why on the phone?
That's too bad. That's too bad.
Well, next time when they figure it out.
Yeah. There's still time. What has he got? 4 more days?
No, wait, that's Jack Irons. Jack Irons
Yeah.
has 4 more days.
3 more.
3. Yes, 3.
Yeah, right.
Down to the
Daylight. Yeah, I'm trying to do a live stream tomorrow or Wednesday. With I'm trying to get Tug and Thump, so that way we can do like a final
love
push.
Thump
Yeah.
is the best.
Yeah, get some of like the people with slightly bigger followings, so we can kind of just like have more people come in and hear about Jack Irons if they haven't, so that they can pledge. Just kind of just wham it at that final stretch.
Yeah, and he's less than $400 away.
He's so close to the last color goal. I want him to make that goal.
Me too. I might have to up my pledge just to get him. It was early. As soon as he put Jack Irons up, I was just like, I love this idea. I want to see it work. $50.
I $25 pledged before we even became friends.
Yeah,
now
like,
we're
literally
friends,
same
and
thing.
I want to do a higher pledge now. I'm very tempted. I
swear to God, if it gets down to the last day and he hasn't met that 5,500, I'm just gonna put in the last of it. I'm just gonna be like, here, do it, color it.
I will help you, my dude. It's just it needs to be done. It really does. I feel that if I feel like comics that don't have color are kind of, they're less eye-catching. Like when people flip through them in stores or flip through it online and then they don't see color, they sometimes don't seem as interested in it, may overlook it because of that, unless they're like hardcore manga fans, because manga fans are used to the lack of color.
It's true.
But I
With a
think
lot of
some
Western
comics do-
they'll disregard them as soon as they see they don't have color.
Yeah,
and it's a shame because I actually think depending on the comic, for instance, like Sporkman looks great in black and white. You know,
I
mean,
agree.
it looks great in color too, but I think it really depends on the type of genre. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to reading manga. You know, to me it doesn't matter. You know, if it's black and white or color. I love color. I mean, unfortunately, its color is expensive.
It is,
but you know, the thing is, I think it depends. Like The Walking Dead, like when it started out in black and white, I loved it. You know,
Yeah. I loved it at first because of the artist that they had in the first volume of Walking Dead. He was great. I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of the artist was, but after they switched to the other artist, I wasn't nearly as interested in it. I still followed it for a while.
They're shown are the ones that are in Regina's tattoos. However, like there's one moment someone pointed out with Black Bob Ross. When he does something kind for Regina, he goes from being mostly black and white to his shirt slowly turning blue.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was a really cool touch.
That's so cool.
Really cool touch.
Especially if you've spoken to Brian and you know some of the details about Rags, and some of the stuff behind it. There's a lot of meaning put into these details.
Yeah, I love Brian. I think he's a legitimate, genuine talent, and those guys have been utterly amazing.
He
with
wrote the
fans.
script. He wrote the script when he was drunk, and I'm just
Even more impressive. Actually, you know what?
Right?
No,
I'm so
actually, no,
freaking
no.
impressed.
Because I find that alcohol can actually be really good for creativity, in my experience.
I don't need alcohol. I just need a lot of sugar.
Well, whatever gets you going, right?
I just realized that can mean something else, considering one of us has a character named Sugar.
Give me some sugar.
I could use a lot of her too, I guess.
We could all use a lot more Sugar Lightspeed.
Oh my
Indeed.
goodness!
I'm
You're
so
making Sugar
looking forward.
blush.
I am so looking forward to that comic and her adventures. Y'all don't understand. I think I love everyone's projects so much, but I have to admit I'm very much drawn to Sugar and Jack as characters.
Yeah.
Maybe I secretly like the darker tones of their stories. I don't know.
I hope you can handle it. It gets dark, and it gets dark real fast. So
Good. I would love to see that crossover, Jack Irons and Sugar Lightspeed.
I want to draw
that. Would be fun. That would be really fun.
Yeah, they're two very bombastic characters, like very interesting, and I'd love to see like how they would interact. I love Wicked Awesome Team.
It's just too much fun. I wanted to see them interacting with Wanpool. Have you guys? So good.
Isn't it that?
Not an animation. No, it was. I commissioned Troy to do some of my characters.
It went off. Turn it on.
I want
Oh
to see.
man, look at that.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Nice.
Isn't that
Look that big. I want to admire things.
What's
That
that?
looks so cool.
Yeah, I made it my iPad.
Or like group DM earlier.
Yeah.
One of Sugar Lightspeed,
No,
and the
Tank
way
found it.
her arm, the way
That was
her
a great
arm is
picture.
shaded, I was just like, so
Tank
good.
found it. And he was like, "How come I haven't seen this before?" And I'm like, "It's been there, bud."
Well, that's my own personal 10-year-long superhero passion project is the Wicked Awesome team. And when I after I read Wanpool, I was just like, oh man, I want to see Wanpool interacting with my
For Helen, so I can join in on all these crossover shenanigans. I feel like crossovers are kind of inevitable when
Yeah.
you have a smaller community like this and all the creators are friends and talking to each other. You're eventually there's going to be some point where it's like, hey, if our characters met, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, but also it's like back in the day when you had something like the Marvel DC amalgam universe. Like that probably had so much red our community. It's just like, hey man, I got an idea. It'd be a cool crossover with our characters. What do you think? Should we do it? And it's either sure or no, I'm a little too busy. You know? It's,
Oh no, I'll admit, once I finally get the script written and whatnot and get Raziel out, I will admit, if anybody ever wants to do a crossover with him, I'm gonna be like, I'm game. I'm so game.
Yeah, I especially want to cross over the Wicked Awesome team characters with like anyone and everyone because I just love seeing them in like other people's styles and like all sorts of different situations.
I don't mind Sugar going with anybody. If they just want to play with it, that's fine. Just let me look at the scripts and have a once over, and then that'll be it. You know, so at least I get her tone right.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
my goal.
I would want the same thing with the Wicked Awesome team because you got
Like one of my crossover dreams is having me and Regina, or Spork and Regina, in 2 mech battles. Just having this awesome Super Mega Sporktron versus Regina's Gundam type. I can just imagine such a great story.
That's
Yeah.
No,
That'd be cool.
actually, real quick, I've kind of mentioned it to that comics gal the other day, but would y'all like to hear about my character? Like, I wouldn't mind getting some feedback on it.
What's your character?
My character is Raziel, keeper of the in actual Christian Judea mythology, or the actual religious text, Raziel is an angel who is the keeper of secrets, and it goes into, like, my comic goes into the 7 angels of the apocalypse and the 7 demons of the apocalypse. And
We might have to do a crossover, dude. Because Volt is the angel that seals the demons in hell.
nice. Well, the whole thing is like, all right, so
Yes,
the big-
Troy is the bomb.
the whole like concept behind the character is he is, because of the fact he's the keeper of secrets, he has super intelligence. Like all angels and all demons have the base ability of telekinesis, all right? But his super intelligence combined with it, because who you are in heaven affects who you are on earth. So for him, because of the fact that he's the keeper of secrets, he knows all. Like every secret there is to be known about the universe, he knows. So, and he uses that on Earth to basically build and develop a financial empire to more or less, you have the resources to fight the demons of the coming apocalypse and things like that. And the whole story deals a lot with like basically demons. Angels can fall and become demons. Demons can rise and regain their status as angels. And the whole point, but you also have the whole concept of you can fall but not become a demon. You can just become immortal, stuck on Earth for the rest of eternity because of the fact that you basically told God no. And he did that because the only way to stop the apocalypse from happening is for one of the 7 angels of the apocalypse to fall, to put humanity before heaven. And his story completely is him to keep humanity going because, yes, humanity has its flaws, but at the same time, we are still a young species. Even we have, should have the shot at redemption, if you will, and have the choice to not allow this war that's been going on between heaven and hell for so long come to our realm. Because it's basically the way I put it in my comic is heaven and hell are different planes in the fourth dimension. And planets where that get, I guess you could say, pulled into this fight are nexuses where the 2 points meet. And it's
So like a limbo or something like that? Hello?
Nerd, you break it up.
Yeah.
You went robot.
Sorry. Kind of, but not quite. It's more like there is a limbo. Limbo is basically the points between the two areas in the fourth dimension where they can't. It would take forever even for them to traverse. That's why it's once you're sent to limbo, you're kind of stuck there.
Okay.
He basically chooses to protect mankind to become a superhero.
We kind of missed some of that. You broke up a bit.
Yeah, it's like to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. I mean,
You're showing your true colors. He's actually
Secretly
a robot. I have been programmed to take over the Comicsgate community and destroy it from the inside.
oh hell no! It helps.
The less things you got running in the background, the better.
Yeah, you should have Steam running in the background.
But how am I sounding now?
Better.
All right. So
Seems
what
fine.
what I was saying is basically the whole arc is he chose mankind over heaven and amassed this massive fortune and everything to help save, if you will, the species.
Cool. Okay, cool. So
Like-
what's the main character?
Raziel.
I will say that with the amount of demon and angel related characters that are had here, there could be a crossover of epic proportions at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you get into all that, and especially if your demon and your angel realms are all kind of like different universes or planes of existence, there's lots of potential for crossover type stuff.
So much nonsense.
Well, and also at the same time, I like
Supernatural mumbo jumbo.
Oh yeah, I also like to go into the idea of the multiple, I guess you could say reality theory, the multiple dimension theory. So that is there was
Break it up again.
The robot, it has. Stay strong, Josh. You can fight Skynet.
I don't know what's doing it now. Like I'm looking, like everything that would be external has been shut down.
It could be that you're getting excited, so your voice gets higher and you speak faster, and your mic just can't handle it.
Maybe using some cheap equipment.
My computer's like full.
I'm assuming you're gonna use what you said was that your computer is 400 years old.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically, his computer is an abacus.
Funny story. Sean on a thread on Twitter earlier today.
Sean is in the comments.
He is in the chat. He is in the chat, and earlier people started doing a lot of puns with a horse to write it and turn it into an actual comic book.
Oh, how about a T-shirt? He made no cockroach T-shirts.
He made no cockroach T-shirts. I could get behind that.
Oh, speaking of T-shirts, I still really eventually want to do Team Love T-shirts for everyone.
Yes. Oh, you know I'll be buying a Team Love T-shirt.
I need them make ones with everyone's characters, just like making hearts with their hands. Make one with sugar for Jimmy. One with Helen or just like my little comic gal over here.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to make the Hime no Cockroach one just to bug Sean.
I see what you did there.
I want it. I want Hime no Cockroach.
We need to get Sean in here.
Absolutely.
Sean. If I made a promise with everyone here that if you get on, I will sing. Everyone has sun but me.
Yeah.
Yes, and we want to hear that bass tone that she puts out. That'd be nice.
Not bass. I can go tenor.
That comic gal can only sing in like super guttural like death metal.
My voice range is contralto, which is below alto. I've seen below. I could Miley Cyrus of all people.
Okay. I don't really listen to Miley Cyrus, so I don't know what that range is.
I don't listen to her either, but I found out we have the same range, and now I feel very awkward about it.
Are you gonna come in like a wrecking ball, just like Cecil?
I don't need a ball. I'll just go in butt first.
Oh, you and your booties.
I feel like it's become like it started out as just some jokes on Twitter, and now it's just it's a part of me.
You know what I was
There's
just
no
thinking?
escape anymore.
You know what I was just thinking? It's just so funny about Comicsgate and all of the controversies surrounding the quote-unquote professionals in the industry. Is how back in the day, like nobody wants to be like them.
I never wanted to be them. I always wanted to be my own self, make my own comics, and be my own creator. Because are you okay over there?
There's a freaking fly buzzing around. There's two of them. Bugs the hell out of me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for all the clapping.
But for me, it's like I don't always come back and say, "Well, I can't blame anybody else for being rude to the customers. It's on me because if I'm rude, then that's hurting my bottom line."
Yeah,
I can't promote the
I feel you. Well, for me, I don't. I really don't like the pro killer. Like when I was younger, I went to my first comic book convention. I met one of my favorite artists, and he was so dismissive and so rude to me that it just completely shattered. I was pretty crushed. Like I was young. I think I was only 16 at the time, and I was crushed. Like I lost a lot of my passion for art after that, and I didn't get it back for quite a long time.
Pause real quick. Apparently, they're still having problems with my stream, so Avid suggested we switch over to Sporkman's channel and continue streaming there.
Well, I myself am going to bounce. I think I'm gonna try and track down and murder these flies so I can get some sleep
unfortunately,
tonight.
I gotta go too because
It's been awesome.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yes. So tomorrow night, big stream with Jack Irons, the man Cody Fernandez himself.
Nice.
And then we'll have one Wednesday. Well, we're doing it Wednesday night, I thought. Or is he doing another one?
I think it's Wednesday night, right?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to come for the Wednesday. I got a conference I got to do with Jeremy, and then we got another thing on Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure when. So
I won't be able to come until later on in Wednesday night simply because church things.
Oh, not a problem. But either way, it was great having you all. I loved meeting you, Josh.
Thank you as well with you all.
Hey.
Nice to hear so many of your voices that I.
We've been. And Josh, you've been an awesome man for quite some time, and it's always good to get to see your face move.
Thank you. Hey,
hear your voice.
People tell me I'm in the right
out here.
Bye, Spork.
Hasta Spork.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll call it to an end, folks. Check out Sporkman's comic.
Yeah, we'll do. Absolutely.
Check out Josh, the animator, on Twitter. Expect a Patreon for him coming soon.
Josh, the amazing animator. But yeah, expect some stuff.
Check out that Comic Gal on Twitter, and check out her Patreon.
Woo!
Especially if you like butts.
You like the booty?
It's kind
Come to the gal.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double meaning too, since booty can mean like treasure and goodies too.
That's right.
So
But
like,
we all know that's not what it means.
hey, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both, darling.
But,
Darling, only one woman gets to call me darling.
Okay, fine. How about honey?
Oh, that's even worse. Come on, you're gonna somebody's gonna get jealous. She's watching this stream right now.
Well, she is far superior to me, so I don't think she will see me.
Channel.
Yeah, Slick Jimmy Speaks if you're looking for it, and Slick Jimmy Love on Twitter.
Slick's the real deal.
All the love, all the speaking.
Yes.
All the
Alright, you guys.
talking, low guttural tones.
That's all from me. Signing off. Take care, everyone.
Bye,
Later, man.
Josh.
All right, people. I'm taking off.
Same here. You guys have a wonderful night.
Night.
You too. And thank everyone for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Brainiac420 and check out my Patreon. Look for Bob Dolebot. All one word. All right. You folks have a good one, and I shall catch y'all at the next meeting of the mind.